Did I see Melinda's in the house? What is up? Friday night. Greetings, everyone. YouTube clock is a little bit faster than my atomic clock on my laptop, so think we are up and running, supposedly, maybe. Yeah, says we're live. We'll see. Haha. I see a view. Oh, Peter's in the house. Sony Muse, Sony Muse, Sony Muse. Just for you. And no, I won't mention the thing you told me not to mention. I'm back with my my horrible lighting and my askew framing that Vinny was just complaining about. Film Nerd Corey's in the house. What's up, man? Film Curd Nori might be out there somewhere too. Always good to see you guys. Hello, Melinda. So Friday, I got a few pickups. I'll wait a few minutes for some other people to show up, and just random hot topics, things like that. And hopefully, I'll stay awake. And I'll try not to pay too much of attention to the fact that LaserDisc Home Theater just dropped a crazy super chat donation. Oh, Moikey's in the house. Oh, well, I definitely can't tell the thing that LaserDisc Home Theater didn't want me to tell because he just donated. So you have to donate more than he did in order for me to tell. So it's really nothing that bad. He just told me not to tell. Do the Hot Topics song. Hot Topics! I do need the topics in the morning, topics in the evening, topics on the LDF. Yeah, that's right. A couple dollars going towards that Sony Muse player. If there's any left, we'll see. Now everybody's all hot on Sony Muse players. Now that LaserDisc World, the largest LaserDisc wholesaler in all of the world, is hustling them. Oh yeah, Star Wars. Yes. Rest in peace, Peter Mayhew. I got to meet him in Hartford back in maybe 2007 or something. They're still going on. It's a largely anime convention called Kineticon, but before it started taking place in the big convention center downtown, it used to be at the University of Hartford campus, and the last year it was on the campus, I went and hung out for a couple days, and even though it was like 80% anime based, they had a couple guests like who was it? Somebody from Lost in Space. Was it Dr. Smith? Can't remember. But Peter Mayhew was there, and he did a little, seminar that was really just a handful of us that followed him like cross campus to this small little auditorium. So it was real personal, and it was cool. It was just a good time, and really nice, personable guy. And it's a shame Chewbacca has passed on. So cheers to Peter Mayhew. And yes, tomorrow is May 4th, but I don't celebrate that. I celebrate May 25th, which was officially deemed Star Wars Day, at least in California, years before this May the 4th hipster nonsense started. So May 25th is where it's at. That's what I'll be celebrating. I mean, any day has the potential to be Star Wars Day anyways. The Culturedog sign. I think it's up there on top of that stuff, maybe. I'll bring it down again next week. My bad. I didn't know it was that exciting, but it does zazz up the proceedings a little bit and obscures some of the box sets so you can't see exactly what's going on. But yeah, so I picked up a couple things this week. I thought I had a LaserDisc coming because I bought one earlier in the week, but the guy hasn't even dropped it in the mail yet. I did notice that his, kind of like about the store write-up was a little passive-aggressive. It was like, I got 3 days to mail things out. Like, back off, Mom. Like, that was like his pitch as to why you should buy from him. I'm like, apparently this guy has a problem with getting things out in the mail. I mean, I do too, but not when I'm eBaying. I mean, like if I'm I'm a good friend of yours, I'm a real slacker, but if I'm conducting some sort of business, I'll try and get it out. But so I thought maybe it would have showed up today, but alas, not so much. What's the current hype with Rad? Everybody on LDF seems to be after that crappy title. Yeah, Rad is a perennial favorite, and the funny thing is it's really not that rare because there are ass tons of boxes and boxes of this stuff. Actually, yeah, before I do the pickups, I actually did go see a lot in my home state last weekend. It was kind of a weird situation. A collector who was a bachelor had passed away, leaving his elderly dad and his out-of-state sisters trying to like clear out his house and estate before this big thing they're having in May. I think they're going to either do like some sort of estate sale or tag sale, but they were allowing people to, bid on the high ticket items ahead of time. So I went and checked out. It was a nice lot. He just had a CLD D702, nothing that amazing, but they had itemized all the vinyl in his collection, but they hadn't bothered to itemize the LaserDisc. There was a decent amount, but maybe 100 discs or so. And no copies of Rad in there or anything like that. But it was one of those cases where it's like the sisters weren't able to be there, so the poor elderly dad had to be on site, and he didn't know what was going on with his collection. I mean, the guy's sisters barely did anyways, and everybody just knew that they were the hottest, best thing in the 90s, and I didn't even know where to begin to explain the current market of LaserDisc to them. I threw a pitch. They didn't seem too excited by it, and so maybe somebody already overbid and got them, or maybe they just haven't looked over all the offers yet, but they were hoping for a bidding war, basically, and they were also disappointed nobody wanted the vinyl, because they're like, it's just, you could print money if you have this stuff, and it's not the case. But anyways, one of the things I was thinking about when I went down there is when you have to deal with these kind of collections where somebody's got all the hottest titles from the 90s, all the hottest titles did not hold any resale value. I mean, a little bit, Star Wars has a little bit of resale value, and then the stuff that people that don't know about the current market will pitch to you as, the prime selling points, like Godfather, Star Wars, this and that. They're just pitching comments to you. Braveheart. So on the flip side, all the stuff that nobody really cared about back in the 90s, all the Image titles, all the cheap, straight to video horror titles, etc., all that stuff is the stuff that's worth money now and that everybody wants to see it a lot. But the actual like high ticket, it's like, you roll up in your old Ferrari and everybody's like, nah, I don't want that, I want the Chevette. So everybody wants the Chevette now. The Chevette is hyper valued and the Ferrari is undervalued. So that brings us back to Rad, which is the Chevette, which is turned into a Ferrari. But meanwhile, like, nobody really cared about Rad in the 90s. So it's not rare in the fact that nobody bought them and then nobody damaged them or used them or destroyed them. So there's still just boxes of them sealed kicking around. Not too long ago, somebody uncovered at least one box of sealed copies, started hustling them on eBay, and then every subsequent one kept getting more and more expensive. But it's just one of those titles that people trip over themselves to pick up, especially, like, I don't know, people coming at the format from like maybe like a VHS angle, something like that. It just seems to connect well on a certain level with certain collectors. And meanwhile, everyone else is scratching their heads like, what's the big deal about Rad? I mean, sure, it's rad, but Spencer's in the house. Oh, good. Another 525 Celebrator. Excellent. Good to hear. Use that spot for inside jokes and subliminal. Ooh, subliminal message. I like it. So I went and checked out that lot. I don't really hold any hope of it panning out. I thought I shot a little high because all of his stuff was in Chicago one-stops, which I hate, but I don't mind buying a collection in Chicago one-stops because they're going to be in good shape inside those, and I could take them out and burn those Chicago one-stops. Environmentally friendly burning, very, very controlled setting, and then put them in some nice crystal clear polypropylene sleeves or whatever. But I know they're going to be, the jackets are going to be in nice shape, etc. So, there you go, a rare lot. Men in Black, Air Force One, Fifth Element, Braveheart, Speed, GoldenEye, Batman and Robin, and Forrest Gump. all the hits. Yeah. And I'm pretty sure all of those were in there too. But there were a couple late-ish releases. I think I saw 1 or 2 DTS discs in there. I was just more excited because there was a lot of stuff that I personally didn't have that I would be cool with owning, actually. So it wasn't really anything I was interested in flipping majorly, and then maybe some of the stuff would be an upgrade, like condition-wise. But Chicago hates Chicago one-stops. Good. The heck with those things. It's like, I want to have a car floor mat, but in the shape of a LaserDisc jacket sleeve. It's like, hate those things. Okay, Melinda wants the Chicago. All right, well, if I get this lot, you officially get Vinny rolling in with a almost beat LaserDisc home theater bid for my attention. Thank you for the donation, sir. But yeah, Melinda gets the Chicago one-stops if I get the lot. Cross my fingers. We'll see. Now, I don't know how long they're taking to deliberate, or if they're even going to contact me if they decide not to go with my offer. But, yeah. Anyways, so I picked up some stuff this week. No LDs, but I'll show you a few LDs anyways that'll tie into the hot topic du jour. As I promised, I went and grabbed the Alien 40th anniversary on Saturday. I was going to try and hunt down the Best Buy Steelbook, but Charthang Dog in the house. Elitists give $5 or more. That's what I hear. But yeah, I was going to go for the Best Buy Steelbook thing, but it was sold out around where I was. Oh my God! The lock is in the house. Keep it locked. Nice. Good to see you. You are here. I am here. It's amazing. Yeah, we in the Northeast do have to struggle for LaserDisc, right? So, yeah, I said bully to the Best Buy Steelbook, and I picked up the 4K regular old boring one. It's got, the only thing I don't like about it is the Blu-ray copy it has is the same old Blu-ray copy that's in the Alien Anthology with the Mother Mode and all that stuff. Halloween did that too. It's like, you're going to have a new transfer, newly struck, kind of newly color-timed version of the movie, but you're not going to port that version onto Blu-ray in the Blu-ray combo pack. It's like, it's kind of weird, right? Like here's another Blu-ray altogether that looks completely different. Like, how am I supposed to like compare and contrast if I wanted to? Anyways, but it does look really nice, and I wasn't freaked out about the color timing, like when they were like making the entry onto LV426, like the color, the kind of aura of the planet looked the color I remember seeing it. So nothing jumped out at me as being obnoxious. Yeah, I enjoyed it. I threw it on late one night and checked that out. And also grabbed Overlord UHD, which yes, I did see the Aliens stage play. I mean, I didn't see it in person, but I saw a little bit of talk about it, maybe a photo or something like that. That was amazing. That's a school I want to go to. I always wanted to do Reservoir Dogs as a school play, but sadly, it never happened. So I grabbed Overlord. It was pretty cheap. Same poster on the inside. Moiki. Oh, Moiki. Not quite elite level, but close. And he says that I smell like his dad's hair. So that's cool. I'm assuming your dad has amazing smelling hair. So I smell like Drakkar Noir and Victory, baby. And last Blu-ray I grabbed this week was The Man Who Killed Hitler and Then the Bigfoot. I was waiting for this to make some sort of a theatrical bow around me, since it was supposed to be, released and limited in February. Never happened, but I was psyched to see it in physical, because I thought I was going to have to... I haven't seen Overlord yet either, but I bought it because it was cheap, and I'm an knucklehead. But yeah, I thought I was going to have to stream this beast. But, I mean, you can't go wrong with Sam Elliott in a movie called The Man Who Killed Hitler and Then the Bigfoot. And, yeah, killer, cast in here for supporting cast. Larry Miller's in there. Eden Turner's in there. So, good stuff. Yeah, right. The high school drama departments were boring in my school. Come on. Wheel of Death? What's going on here? Did we miss something? Did I get abducted? looks like I'm okay. My butt hurts. I might have been abducted. Yeah, so it's got slightly different art here. Yeah, I guess you got to go to Jersey for the cool schools. I went to Bloomfield, Connecticut. Not so much cool. So I grabbed these bad boys. And, of course, watched Game of Thrones last Sunday night, as did everybody. But I was quickly frustrated by the fact that it was... I was streaming it at the same time everybody was streaming it, and you've probably heard about the super aggressive cinematography in the episode. It was lit completely with torches and the occasional flaming sword, so an entire nighttime battle scene. So it was like the most aggressive DP work ever, crammed into a tiny straw and fed into your television. So another reason why streaming kind of sucks, especially when it's like a major event like that. I mean, it's bad enough that I would probably be getting a lot of like banding and like strange things like that, but oh man, it was breaking up. And then by the time the dragons were flying through a snowstorm, I couldn't tell what was snow, what was pixels. It was just a waste of my time. I was like, oh, I think that blobby pixely blur stabbed that blobby pixely other blur. And it actually stopped being entertaining at all. And like almost like halfway through it, I was like, yeah, I'm almost tempted to shut this thing off and try it again another day. So that was the biggest disappointment of the week. I guess the episode was fine and all, but damn, yeah, don't try and watch high quality cinematography over crappy bandwidth. Sans Gnome says getting LaserDisc in Canada is a nightmare. Yeah, shipping it up there is a beast. I've had to send some like box sets up, and it costs so much. It's ridiculous. So most of the kind of Canadian collectors I used to work with would also like have family in Maine or something, so I would ship to Maine, so then when they'd come into the States I could pick it up there. Garrick27 said Overlord was a lot of fun. So yeah, Wolfenstein games, I think it'll fit nicely near Iron Sky on my shelf, something like that. Mikey and his Plex, you little pirate. You're always talking about your Plex. Oh, the Sonic the Hedgehog trailer. I saw that. It was interesting. I've heard that they've gone back to the drawing board because of the intense reaction against it. It's pretty interesting. Yeah, he did look pretty lame, but I didn't actually watch the trailer yet. I should have. I guess I was just too busy this week. What happened? Why didn't I watch that stupid trailer? But I was more entertained by the reactions to the trailer than the trailer itself, because I didn't see it. And yeah, apparently they're going back to the drawing board. Spencer. Cable Alone. I mean, I know it's not everybody's favorite, but Big Bang Theory. If you've ever seen the opening, credits with the, whatever Bare Naked Lady song or whatever, it starts getting faster and faster and faster. And if you're not watching it on physical media, eventually it just turns into a hot mess of pixels. Like nothing. Even when I was watching it on cable, it could never resolve the detail that was going by at the level it was going by on the screen. It's so funny. Batman Fathom events. I hadn't planned on it, but I really should. That would be nice and tasty. What looked fine, Moiki? Sanic? What's Sanic? Smelling a new ideal kitchen. I don't know. Maybe Sansa? Does Sansa look fine? Or Sanic? Is there a character named Sanic that I don't know? Good times. So I'm gonna check into some Batman stuff. I would love to see some. Actually, I'd love to see the first two in theaters again. It's been a while, obviously. But what did I do the rest of the week? I watched a butt ton of Twin Peaks. I finally got around to, like a month or so ago, Amazon had the return, or season 3, on Blu-ray for sale, because that thing was never going on sale. So I feel bad because I don't have Showtime. And when the show came back, I mean, Twin Peaks is basically up there with a handful of others. It's one of my favorite television shows of all time. Is Moiki drinking? That is a good question. I think he is. I felt like I I really owed it a chance to watch it, and then it's like, I put it on Showtime. It's like, well, how much do I need to see it? Am I going to get Showtime just to watch it? I really should have just bought it a la carte from Amazon and checked it out. But now that I'm watching it on Blu-ray, I'm kind of glad I waited on Blu-ray. And Sonic, original character. Do not steal. Sonic the Hedgehog. Oh, yeah, that's good. I thought we were talking about a Game of Thrones. Like, Sonic would be some wildling guy. Sonic the Brave. Crushes the dead with mighty fist. Yeah. Good times. Anyways, what were we talking about? I can't remember. You derailed me with Sonic. He's my favorite character, by the way. Yeah. I hope he mates with Trogdor and everybody gets happy. Yeah, so Twin Peaks. I finally bought that Amazon Blu-ray when it was on sale for $20-something, and I'm like, all right, I'll get it. And I'm an idiot for waiting that long. So I finally started firing it up earlier in the week, and Sonic on Game of Thrones would be epic, right? And yeah, I immediately got hooked. So I'm itching, crackhead style right now, to be watching Twin Peaks. This would be normally the beginning of my Twin Peaks viewing, so I'm going to be spending that with you guys instead. I just did episode 8, which is the big game changer, blow your mind episode that everybody was talking about nonstop, with the 9 Inch Nails and all sorts of other craziness. So super cool. So I'll be watching the rest of that this weekend, I'm sure. I didn't go out to see anything because I saw a long shot last week and I saw Endgame last week. I'll probably maybe go see Endgame again this week, but Zanuck the Fox Hunter. Daryl Zanuck, he will get you. They'll be hiring the same producer that did Super Mario Brothers for Sonic the movie. That would be crazy. Yeah, I mean, it worked for Super Mario Brothers, so why not? Retroflyer was doing some Blade Runner history reading. Nice. Best cut is tough. I'm torn between the director's cut and the final cut. For some reason, I really do miss I Want More Life, fucker, every time he says father in the final cut. If I could just change that one line, I'd be totally down with the final cut. The final cut, they did a really nice job with fixing a couple things, but not Lucasifying it, and very tasteful. The stuff they did with Harrison Ford's son and getting Zora back in for some facial scans to fix her big scene with the stunt woman that obviously was not Zora. That stuff was done really well and didn't take anything away from it. So the final cut overall is right up there for me. But if not, then the director's cut is where I'm at. That was my go-to one, obviously, for the longest time after the LaserDisc came out in the 90s. And I'll still watch the theatrical or the international one or the work print at any given moment. Yeah, probably I don't know. I don't really need the extra little tiny snippets of violence from the international cut. So either one, either the U.S. version or the international one, I'm cool with watching those occasionally, even though the voiceover is kind of lame. It's weird. I look at Blade Runner differently depending on the version I'm watching. It feels like a 1982 film for me when I watch the theatrical cuts, like a real early 80s, everything 80s about it. For some reason, it's dated when I watch that, and which is cool because I have nostalgia for it, and I saw it in the theater in 82. And then when I watch the director's cut, it feels timeless. It always feels current for some reason. It felt current when I watched it in the early 90s, and it continued to feel current. So yeah, if I want to have some sort of an 80s trip flashback, I'll watch the theatrical cuts, and then if I want to watch, normally I'll just want to watch it as a timeless classic, and I'll watch either the final cut or the director's cut. So there you go. Long answer to that short question. Do a live Google image search reaction to the word Sonic. Maybe on my phone. Hold on. Let's see. Have you done this already? Yeah, Vinny's upset that I'm not disappointed in Twin Peaks yet. I've been really enjoying it, so he's waiting for me to get completely burnt out on it. Yeah, I'm only on 8. How many episodes can I watch a night? I gotta go to sleep eventually, right? All right, let's see. Let's see what Sanic looks like. This is just for Moikey. Come on, give me something. Whoa. It was like 2 different things depending on where I guess this would be the 3rd one. There you go. There's Sanic. So, that wasn't that exciting. All right. Anyways, so yeah, Dougie Jones. He's a cool dude, and I don't know why I waited this long. I really like how it's poking and prodding at the fans at the same time it's delivering like buttloads of fan service. It's crazy. Like there's a lot of stuff from the show and from Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me. It's like equally referencing both of those and doing a pretty steady job of that. And then at the same time, at completely denying fans, the Cooper experience. So like they keep pushing that back. But oh man, there's just some new characters I really love. And then just the vibe. I don't mind the slow burn. It's definitely got more of a Fire Walk with Me, though not as dark overall as Fire Walk with Me. It's got a little bit more balance. It's never going to be the tone of the original show because there was, even though it was a Lynch Frost production, there was many more cooks in the kitchen and that. And this is definitely a pure Lynch Frost production. Anybody ever read their One Saliva Bubble script? It was making the rounds around the same time. I got my hands on it right around the same time Fire Walk with Me came out. And it is insane. It's, billed as a comedy, kind of like a comedy of errors, like a Brazil-esque kind of situation with a almost Rube Goldbergian chain of events from one small, like the bug in Brazil that gets in the typewriter. So it kind of starts off with that same thing and it just turns into a bunch of nonsense. It's like it was like Stanley Kubrick was making Doctor Strangelove on acid, basically, and that was One Saliva Bubble. And for some reason it never got made. The reason probably because it was completely bat stuff crazy. And it's a really interesting script if you ever run across it. But yeah. Spencer's also down with the director's cut. Oh, The Lock checked out Navy SEALs. Damn. That's Michael Biehn in there. I've never seen that movie. It's always been, I do not have it on LaserDisc. I need it. For some reason, that movie has totally bypassed my shelving all this time. Supposedly, Final Cut is the only Ridley Scott full authority. Yeah, there was a weird situation where Ridley Scott was pressured to get the director's cut out because they had found the work print and were doing screenings of it, and it was super popular. And then it became this really bizarre situation where a decade later, when you could release a final cut or a director's cut at your leisure, Warner Brothers was super excited to just release this rough cut, this work print, as the director's cut. And Ridley Scott's like, I want to do it right. And he was pressured. He was put under a time constraint to get it ready. So there you go. Moiki wants to know why the new Blade Runner was so quickly forgotten. It's out there though. I mean, it's got fans, like major fans. So it just kind of had a similar fizzle at the box office, and I think it's going to stand the test of time as much as the original. And it's definitely got its Austin's in the house. What's up, Austin? It's definitely got its fan base, myself included. So I don't think it's going to be kind of one of these things that fades. It's going to keep growing in estimation, and more people are going to start discovering it later. Let's see. Vinny enjoyed Mark Frost's Arthur Conan Doyle mystery novels. I've not read those, so you check out One Saliva Bubble. I'll check some of that out. Moiki says, read us some of your X-Files fan fiction. All right, maybe sometime, maybe not in this forum, but I'll do like a roundtable or something. Get some peeps together, and we'll do some X-Files. Back in the day, I was hooked on The Adventures of Briscoe County Jr., being a big Bruce Campbell fan. And I got into the X-Files because the X-Files was, surprise, surprise, Briscoe County Jr. was the hot show. Like, that was the big dog. So X-Files was like the little weakling show that came along after, like partially through Briscoe's season. And they were looking for, this Friday night Fox. Because that was back around when people were still doing things on Friday nights. But it wasn't quite to the point now where they'll just like, hey, run old NCIS episodes or run Blue Buds all night. There was still that push to have original programming. So X-Files was dumped out, but on the coattails of Briscoe County Jr. And sure enough, I was like, oh, I got to check this out. Aliens and stuff, like, looks pretty sweet. And I got hooked like really fast and hard. And I got hooked so fast that by maybe like episode 7 or 8 or something, like I just determined that I was going to start writing scripts for X-Files. So I wrote a script involving the Men in Black before they covered the Men in Black in season 3 and before the Men in Black movie was out or anything like that. So it was more about the actual like Men in Black lore and stuff like that. It was just like one of those kind of like Mulder Wild Goose Chase episodes, and involved like Nellis Air Force Base and stuff like that. And so so I wrote the script, and then I think what it was I was reading something about Next Gen, Star Trek Next Gen, about how they actually would take spec script submissions, and it was a long shot that they would do anything with it, but they would actually take them. But obviously X-Files was at the time very inclusive, and everyone was circling around the wagons. It was a new show. Nobody was letting outsiders in. So, but what I did was I like scammed my way into Chris Carter's office on the phone. I called whatever Fox affiliate, and I got in touch with like the Los Angeles Fox like headquarters. Then I got in touch with the lawyers, and I did the whole like usual, hey, I need so and so's phone number. I lost it. Oh man, this sucks. I gotta go out to lunch, and I gotta meet some people. Oh man, I can't believe I lost it. And I did that whole scam grifter thing, and I got Chris Carter's office line in Vancouver from his lawyers, and then I called up directly and got in touch with his secretary, and so I got all that way. And meanwhile, I was working at in the mailroom at an insurance company, so this was on my lunch break. I'm just like cold calling all these places across the country, and then so I got all the way to Chris Carter's office, and I'm like, yeah, do you accept spec scripts? And of course she's like, no, and I'm like, oh, well that sucks. And that was the end of it. So I still have my my X-Files script, and I gave a copy to Moiki and Sean. I think they got copies. So that's the long story about the spec script. The Mutilator. No, I've not seen the Mutilator, but everybody's talking about that lately. Somebody just got that. When the Arrow release came out, before I was getting hooked up with Arrow stuff from MVD, so it's not in my my grubby little hands yet, but I wouldn't mind checking that out. Yeah, because I keep finding all these interesting 80s slashers and strange movies. The Slayer was another one that they dropped, Arrow, that I really fell in love with. Really interesting mood. And yeah, Society I don't have yet either. I need to pick that up for sure. Yeah, that's on the list. Oh, damn, Sean is in the house. What are you doing here? I thought you were on an airplane or something. Oh, he's in between flights. Nice. Cheers. I just talked about you. Moiki, like the X-Files story. Do you like the actual story, or do you like the story about the story? The story itself might not be that good. It's been a while since I read it. Oh, cool. All right. The Lock like the Chris Carter story, too. Yeah, imagine getting all that way and then just, yeah. It was like a License to Drive. You know, you get all the way up to the front of the line and the lady's just like, denied. The Lord giveth and the DMV taketh away. So, yeah, that was that. And then, yeah, my script writing career was short-lived. After that, I wrote a very Quentin Tarantino ripoff like everybody else was making at the time called The Big Time. And actually, my first script this is very on PC, but it was called The Carpet Munchers. There's a reason for it. It was a very Joe Esterhausian thriller. And yeah, it was about all the people I worked with at that mailroom at the time. So I incorporated all of them into the movie. And it ended up being one of those things where I thought far too much about it because it was originally just like a lark. Like, I'm going to make a script about you guys. And yeah. It was kind of like a retelling of Airheads. But yeah, so I wrote this script about all the people I worked with, and one guy even jacked me up against the wall when he found out what I did with his character. So I wrote that, and then I wrote that Tarantino ripoff called The Big Time, and then I wrote an actual script which was called Trip, which is I'm actually using in my band as a loose idea for this concept album that we're in the middle of finalizing right now, actually. So that one kind of found new life, but then yeah, I moved on, stopped writing screenplays. And then, yeah, now I'm living this fabulous life. So, talking about LaserDisc and stuff. So, yeah, I was thinking about how crappy my David Lynch LaserDisc collection is. So, I figured I'd show you my crappy David Lynch LaserDisc collection since I didn't pick up any LEDs this week. Would I rather see a Batman film with an older Batman or a John Carpenter Western? Damn, that's a good question. I mean, I guess Vampires already was a John Carpenter Western, or as close to one as we're going to get. But, yeah, like an old grizzled Batman would be badass. But John Carpenter's been dying to make a Western for so long. So I'm going with John Carpenter Western. Because, I mean, an old Batman is probably inevitable, whereas John Carpenter's got a limited amount of time. I mean, he could be immortal. But I'm thinking, if he can make a kick-ass Western as maybe either his last movie or next to last movie or something, yeah, I'm down with that. So yeah, we'll go John Carpenter Western. So yeah, Moiki, Sam, and Sean break into Fox Studios with squirt guns and force them to air Sam's script. That's right. The Lone Rangers are gonna come in town. Yeah, my script is it's kind of like power slop. Yeah, that's the genre. The Exterminator from Arrow too. Yeah, every time I think of the Exterminator now, I think of what's his face from from Cannibal Corpse, who just got arrested for that interesting situation where he was on something ? Even though he was quite the teetotaler, from what I heard. Pat O'Brien from Cannibal Corpse. If you hadn't heard, he was in this really fascinating, very Floridian story. Sorry, Sean, in which he assaulted some neighbors, but not really assaulted. He was just apparently freaking out about some sort of alien invasion. Meanwhile, his house was on fire and started exploding because of all the stuff in there. He had a lot of tanks of fuel for his flamethrowers. And now every time I see a picture of him, like, fresh off the stage, he's always wearing the Exterminator shirt with the flamethrower. I'm like, it's all kind of coming together now. So I want to see someone make a Pat O'Brien movie. So yeah, apparently he just rolled into his neighbor's house and like just kind of like screamed in their faces about, they're coming to get me, and then went and hung out in their backyard until they tased him. And yeah, dude's off the tour. Like, Cannibal Corpse is touring with Slayer right now, so I don't know when he's coming back, but so cheers to Pat O'Brien. I'll play something on the guitar. Oh man, I don't know. This thing is not tuned. Ugh. And it's gonna like mess with my mic. Yeah, I guess it's a little bit in tune. There you go. You got a little bit of... I'll play some Metallica next time or something. Anyways, yeah, there was a little power slap for you. So yeah, so my poor, lame David Lynch Laserdisc collection is, of course, Dune going out to Moikey, the widescreen AC3 version, because you got to have the widescreen AC3 version, and all of the ones are pan and scan, and they must die. And eventually I'll get, well, domestic. I got to get the Japanese one. And of course, run to the hills. I got the widescreen Blue Velvet, which every time I see the jacket I think isn't widescreen, because for some reason when I see this big ugly bottom part, I think, and no like widescreen banner, I think it's pan and scan, but it's not. It is actually widescreen. I had this, I got rid of it, and then I got it back in another lot, so I'm holding on to it. And of course I got the Twin Peaks pilot, which was the international version of the pilot with the tacked on ending that explained everything that was going on in a filmic version. And I'd show you some Disco Vision love, but I don't own any Disco Vision. So I have failed you. Blue Velvet does rule, right? That's the jam. And it's coming out on Criterion Collection Blu-ray in a couple of weeks, so look for that. So yeah, I got the pilot, and of course I have the domestic Twin Peaks Firewalk with me. Love the jacket on this thing. Really nice. I was just jamming the was it Mondo put that out, or Death Waltz, the vinyl that everybody hates because they keep using Rainbow to press their records, so it's got lots of surface noise and everything. But yeah, I don't know. I didn't have a problem with it. It sounded really nice. Good bass extension. Black Dog runs at night. Black Dog runs at night. So gotta have some Firewalk with me. And this one counts only because he's in it and he produced, but Michael Amoreira's Nadja, which is a trip. If you haven't seen this is a very like almost Hal Hartley-esque. Also it helps because it's got what's his face in it, Hal Hartley's boy there, Martin Donovan. But a black and white vampire, like kind of real gothy vampire flick with the vampire vision scenes done with a Fisher-Price PXL 2000 camera they used to record onto audio cassettes. So yeah, crazy stuff. And that's it. I don't have any Japanese imports. Oh wait, I lied. I got one more, but you've seen it before. Where is it? How did I forget? My favorite David Lynch movie. Good old Lost Highway. I've shown this before. And I got this one from Vinny. So if he's still in the house, shout outs to Vinny. Yeah. I don't have the Japanese pressings of any of these because I suck. Someday I'll get those. And I don't have any of the Japanese box sets or any of the domestic box sets of Twin Peaks either. I do have DVD rips, don't tell anybody, of Hotel Room and On the Air, but I don't have the Japanese discs either. And I've got like all the films on other things, and like Industrial Symphony #1 on VHS and stuff. So I really got to up my ante on my David Lynch Laserdiscs. Yeah, I'm surprised I don't own Eraserhead either, but that was one of those things. It was you had to import it from somewhere in Asia usually, if not a Japanese copy. I just never got around to picking it up. If I could tip my entire Laserdisc collection onto one person, who would you choose? Let me think. I don't want to make any rash decisions. But I'm thinking, if I do tip my Laserdisc collection on somebody, it should be somebody who's like a Laserdisc foil. So I do have some ideas, but I'm going to think for the proper answer. Yeah. Let's see, was ever David Lynch talk about when George Lucas just showed him? Yeah, I heard it. He was being courted to direct Return of the Jedi, which would have been such an interesting project, and of course, isn't really that surprising considering almost immediately thereafter he was directing Dune anyway. So it seemed like he had a crash course with 80s largish budget sci-fi. But yeah, imagine. I mean, obviously he probably would have had the Lucasfilm effects team, but like the effects for Dune are so clunky and funky. Like imagine if he had his like Dune crew working on Star Wars, like, or just the design aesthetic, or yeah. Oh man, it'd be so weird. I don't have any Hong Kong bootlegs, sadly. I have some HK, legit HK John Woo flicks and Jackie Chan and Little Jet Li, and I've got that Fixing the Shadows, which is the Charlie Sheen movie Beyond the Law or whatever, where he was the undercover agent going into the biker gang with Michael Madsen. I got that, and American Ninja is maybe a Singapore disc, so that I think that's Singapore. Yeah, my shirt says Oprah. It's Opeth. It's a Swedish metal band, metal/progressive rock band. So you should check them out if you are into that sort of thing. But yeah, the one bootleg I want to get is the Taiwanese Army of Darkness, which apparently everybody has. So I don't know why I can't get a copy of it, but someday I'm going to get the... I mean, that's been like a grail since I read about it in Video Watchdog magazine back in like 93, 94, something like that. So yeah, I need to get more Hong Kong discs. One I do want to get is the complete James Bond collection. I've got maybe 3 or 4 of the Hong Kong like widescreen releases, and then some of the other like older. I got the Moonraker pan and scan one and stuff like that. But yes, I should start a metal band called Oprah. I'd probably get sued, but... Oh, wait. You got the Army of Darkness. Yeah, you suck. I knew Moikey had that, actually, because I've seen your photo of your complete Evil Dead Army of Darkness mega set. So, yes, you should will it to me, and then immediately jump into a wood chipper. But not before making sure your will is, like, notarized and everything like that. Japanese rental bond, baby. Yeah, you know what, the other weird bond thing I got that's almost bootleggy is the Chinese discs. Do I have it? Do I have it within reach? Yeah, that's Hong Kong. Bear with me. This sucks without fingernails. It's a weird feeling. No, that's Hong Kong. That's France. Now it's got to be in front of this. I think it's this. Yeah. Now I got to move my guitar again. Bam. Pardon me. Worst live stream ever. Alright. I should have put my guitar somewhere else. Take that. Technical difficulties. Anyways, I used to think this was a bootleg, but it's not. It's a legit mainland China release, and it's dubbed. And it's really, really horrible looking, but it's awesome. And I'd love to get more of these things. Yeah, they've got the Bond logo from the U.S. releases, but with the backwards N. So yeah, kind of funky. But yeah, what was it? The SAST Entertainment Company. Yeah, they actually legitimately licensed the Bond films in the 90s and released these things. I don't know how many they made, if they got all the way up to the Dalton films, maybe. Oh, man. Moikey donating to the Oprah Kickstarter. I think that pushes you to an elite level now. So now I can tell you what Peter didn't want me to tell you. It's really not that exciting, I don't think, but let's find out. Let's see. Machinamic talk. I'm not supposed to mention Peter's disgrace of losing the #1 draft pick on the day of the draft. So there you go. Hopefully that was worth the extra $2. But you earned it, buddy. Peter outbid him, but I should have waited. I should have started the bidding war first before I revealed his secret. I mean, maybe I have a bigger secret. I'll reveal that later. Wait, who's talking about Mario Van Peebles? Now I'll never know. But yeah, so it's Chinese dubbed James Bond LaserDisc. Really poor quality, but I couldn't say no to that. And so there's a whole series of those out there. I don't know how I'm ever going to find them, or even if there are any in good condition. I'm sure they're all in a landfill somewhere. People's plays an armor-wearing drug lord. Nice. Have I seen the Bond anniversary special where Roger Moore is almost playing a different character, dropping in and out of different films? Well, I do have. Where the heck is it? Pardon me while I swivel around. Bye. I'll be back. Okay, I told you I'd be back. Yes. Happy anniversary, 007. Which is interestingly written by Richard Schickel. Time magazine, if I remember. Was it Time or Newsweek? I think it was Time. Critic. And produced and directed by Mel Stewart. So they pimped this in Japan right around the same time Living Daylights was coming out. So they were kind of trying to get you to buy the whole series on LD again after they reissued them. But yeah, really cool and just kind of super corny. So Wiki doesn't like the lack of super chats. I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm just not pitching it. Yeah, we're just having a good time. So I need to hire Moiki as my man on the street, my street team. Oh, Exterminator 2's got Mario Van Peebles. Damn. Moiki says, do you think I'm correct when I say Blue, Red, and White are forgettable movies? I do think you're incorrect. I don't think you're correct. I love those movies. I'm in the minority in that I liked Red the most. That one blew me away when I saw it. And then I go Blue and White after that. White's the one that's like, it's a little bit lighter. So in some regards, it's a little bit like more accessible. But that one's a little more of a confection, I guess. But no, I don't think they're forgettable at all. Yeah, I enjoyed that. I'll always remember like Blue's got a number of like scenes that are always just kind of ingrained in my memory. So sorry, but the Decalogue too might just overall, even though it's a television show, holy crap, the Decalogue is really good. So overall, that might be better, but I love the Three Colors trilogy. I love Krzysztof Kozlowski anyways. I think he is like the master of conversations or simple scenes. They're just like either two people are talking or even one person talking. And I'll actually get on the edge of my seat from a conversation, or like in the way that the end of Seven would ratchet up tension, or like a car chase or something like that. Krzysztof Kozlowski could do that with a couple of people sitting around a table. It just blew me away. I remember just that first episode of the Decalogue. I was just completely just moving closer and closer to the screen as it went. Uh-oh. Got some information. Oh, no, everyone's just still talking about Mädchen Amick. Yeah. From Twin Peaks, of course. I love those ugly Warner laserdiscs with the frames. Yeah, they did a whole series with like these butt ugly brown ones in Japan, and then in '88 they reissued them, and thank God they actually colored the Warner frame like a little bit differently with each laserdisc. Zazzed it up a little bit because yeah, they were pretty butt ugly. Does your favorite Bond match your favorite Bond gadget? That is tough. I'm trying to think of my overall favorite gadget, and yeah, it's, radioactive lint is obviously. No, I'm just kidding. It does fluctuate from time to time, but yeah. All right, I gotta reassess what my favorite Bond gadget is at the moment, and and Connery's still my favorite Bond actor, with Daniel Craig and Timothy Dalton doing second, like maybe a tie for second. What's my favorite laserdisc starring Tom Cruise? I wish I could say Legend, but I don't have a letterboxed copy of Legend. They're Pan and Scan City, baby, and that I hate that domestic copy of Legend. It's so ugly. Let me see. With the where is that sucker? There it is. It's so washed out looking. Like there's like even the back, everything's just kind of super washed out. It's like somebody needs to drop the brightness level on this disc jacket like 30 clicks. I just look at it every time and I'm like, that might be some nice artwork if this thing doesn't look just like it was left out in the sun for 30 years. And this thing was brand new from Tower Records. I tore the shrink wrap off myself back in the day. But yeah, so that would be, by default, my favorite Tom Cruise LaserDisc. But it's not Letterboxd. So maybe Mission Impossible? I don't know. Yeah, it's probably still Legend. Even with the pan and scan, I can't lie. Was there any difference between the DVDs, the T2, and the LD versions? I've seen comparisons. Yeah, I mean, I remember the original Artisan T2 was a different master, and that one still had Spencer will know this. That one still had the CDS track, if I remember correctly, audio, and I never did get the extreme version or whatever that came out after that. But yeah, obviously anamorphically enhanced in the DVD era, stuff like that. But and that one had the little Easter egg there where you could choose if you were going to watch the extended version or the super extended version with the big like tacked on bit at the end. So yeah, and special features, it was like a little bit more intuitive than even the LD. So, but yeah, I mean, I guess picture quality wise, yeah, not too different. But I never did like a proper comparison side by side or anything. Like the Bond gadget, Never Say Never Again, when he shoots that pen to the chick and she blows up. I do like, speaking of blowing up, I love Yaphet Kotto blowing up at the end of Live and Let Die. It's not really a gadget, but it just made me think of that. Do I know the German power metal band Gamma Ray? Yeah. I used to do a metal radio show for years, and I was just metal guy anyways before that, but I would specifically do like different nights. So I would do like a power metal night, and so lots of bands like Dream Evil and Primal Fear, and even on the more progressive side like Stradivarius and etc. But yeah, Gamma Ray, I played some of their stuff before. I've got at least one of their albums on my collection. It makes Moikey sad when I say I don't own a disc. It makes me want to mail my copy to him. Like, he'd appreciate it more than I do. I might, right? I kept trying to tell those people of that lot I was looking at last weekend that I would give them a loving home, and like maybe I'd like take them out to the park and take a selfie with my laser discs. And see, there is a Days of Thunder laser disc, but get ready, Moikey, I don't own it. It's a comment, but I don't have a copy of it. But that would be a good choice. Yeah, the Legend VHS looked just as faded. Yeah, it's just I love the Japanese ones, but I need to get those at some point. Baby Driver. I'm sorry, Vinny. I totally dropped the ball, and I was supposed to. Oh, right. Linda threw me a couple bucks. Thanks, Linda. I can buy that copy of Days of Thunder. Yeah, we were supposed to talk about Baby Driver because Vinny made a fake cover for the Pioneer Special Edition of Baby Driver, and yeah, I'm not sure what Peter will think about it myself. I had a mixed reaction to Baby Driver. It's a good movie, but I was extremely disappointed because of the movie I thought it was going to be. Because, I mean, Edgar Wright did a number of movies that were like movies you'd never seen before. So I knew he was the guy that would push the envelope in a certain way if there was an envelope to be pushed, especially after Scott Pilgrim. Like when I saw Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, I was like, whoa, I've never seen this movie before. I mean, maybe some movies kind of like it or something like that, but nothing even in that ballpark. So I heard too much buzz about Baby Driver before I saw it. And what I was hearing was not what I saw in the theater. I was hearing that it was this super aggressive, like it completely threw out the cinema template. Like it threw out the 3-act template. It was going to rewrite cinema essentially. And it was going to be 4 or 5 car chases completely orchestrated to unending music and performed like a music video essentially. But it was going to be strung along with like a bare bones script or story, and it was going to be these 4 or 5 set pieces that were going to be just complete, like unending assault on the senses. And I 1000% signed up for that because it sounded like the coolest thing ever. People needed to make more car chase movies that don't let you out of the car and don't let up. So I was expecting a musical, like Scott Pilgrim version of Vanishing Point. And yeah, the movie was fun enough. I really liked all the characters in it for the most part, especially all the other criminals and everything. And then the movie started and it had that kind of opening scene. I'm like, all right, this is interesting. Had that killer first car chase where it totally blew its load. And then I knew I was in trouble with the second job, like, I was like, all right, here we go. Like, I'm getting ready for it. I'm strapping in, I'm buckling in, and then things start going sideways. And I'm like, oh, this is going to turn into a traditional movie from here on out. It's all going to be about plot. It's all going to be about characters and occasionally action, but that's it. That was it. The what I had been sold, just that like bouncy castle just deflated. And I'm like, crap. So yeah, so that was it. So I was completely disappointed. And there was another scene later on where he was like cramming some tunes and like got out of the car, and I'm like, oh, this is gonna be sick because he's gonna go up into this house and get stuff, and like the music's gonna like be quieter and you're gonna hear it in the distance, and he's gonna get back in the car and it's gonna still be. Every time it started getting going, it just hit the brakes. Every time I was like, all right, here we go, nope. Here we go, nope. And there was just way too much plot. There was way too much about his family or his grandfather or buddy there or whatever. I totally didn't need that character at all. I wanted way more Kowalski. I didn't get it. So the movie was a crushing disappointment. Despite the fact that it's a good movie, it's a killer cast, and pretty. I'm $10 away from a Sony Muse player, and yeah. So there you go. That's my Baby Driver story. And yes, Moikey, I can maybe get a $2 LaserDisc because there's an upcoming LaserDisc swap meet in Boston, apparently. I think I can announce this. Not too bad. I'm announcing it because nobody is on that can stop me. May 18th, and it's going to be at Wiley's Super Pad High Energy Vintage in Somerville, Mass. So apparently there's a whole Whole Foods like across the street that you can park illegally at. So I'm going to come up and maybe pick up some $2 LaserDiscs. So, well, yes, I remember that time Peter didn't like Ronin. This is why we don't get along. I totally forgot that he didn't like that. Does he like Ronin? Oh, 4K's in the house. What's up, my friend? He still doesn't like Ronin. Man. Vinny saw Baby Driver at South by Southwest. It makes everything better, and he enjoyed it. Yeah, and plus, you probably saw it before somebody sold you a fake bill of goods on it. Like, you probably saw it fresh and didn't expect anything, except for a cool Edgar Wright movie with some killer tunes on the soundtrack and maybe some action and car chases. But yeah, I was crushed because I couldn't believe how much he pushed the envelope with Scott Pilgrim and knocked it out of the park. So I was waiting. But yeah, Ronin is the way. Pinhead style. Ronin is the way. Yeah, killer car scenes in that. Except for my one buddy who's a gearhead who hates the CGI smoke from the Mercedes when Jean Reno's backing up and peeling out. There's all this like CG smoke kind of around the car as it takes off, and he was so angry. Oh yeah, LaserDisc Home Theater and 4K were getting together and working out some aspect ratio stuff earlier in the week, so hopefully that worked out well. Yeah, sorry Melinda, you need to fly out to the swap meet. Of course you gave me $2, so that doesn't help. I need to give it back to you. Fund that road trip or that flight. Yeah, I wanted to go to the Illinois one time, but then there was death threats against Peter, and the whole thing fell apart. So maybe some other time I'll go out to Illinois. But yeah, Moiki can make it to Boston. That's not that far. And you get to meet Wiley and like get one of his headbands or something and get him to sign it for you. Oh yeah, Deadpool. That was the LD of concern. Everybody was trying to figure out how to properly get that aspect ratio going. Spencer also didn't like the CG from Ronin. Sorry, I didn't mean to bring up a sticking point. Oh man, I saw that flick in the theaters, and I mean, nobody was really expecting that much out of Frankenheimer at the time because he had taken the thankless job of taking over for Richard Stanley's Island of Dr. Moreau, and I'm like, all right, well, this movie looks like a bit of a '70s throwback. It's got a killer cast: Jean Reno, Robert De Niro, Sean Bean, etc., etc. I kind of had a thing for Natasha McElhone at the time. Don't tell anybody. And I'm like, yeah, I got to check this out. And holy cow, yeah, the movie kicked my ass. One of those continuity fixes that's understandable should have been left out, right? Yeah. Wish they would release an unrated cut of Evil Dead 2. Quite a bit of footage missing. Yeah, it's weird. Yeah, considering the amount of different versions of Army of Darkness, Evil Dead 2 is just Evil Dead 2. Yeah, it'd be interesting seeing an alternate cut of it. Though I am kind of partial to the theatrical cut. I'm kind of cool with that. We were gonna have a laser convention at one point. The Norwegians, they have them like every year. Damn Norwegians! They're always having laser conventions. But we were gonna have LaserCon, but then it just kind of fell apart. Everyone like kind of signed up for it, but they didn't, and Peter was unfortunately like having to front all the setup time and money and get the hotel going, and needed like a hard answer of how many people were going to go to make it worth anybody's time. And yeah, because we were going to do it in the hotel and everything like that and do it proper, and yeah, there was just a lot of wishy-washiness, and yeah, it didn't happen, sadly, because that would have been a cool one. I'm totally down for a LaserDisc convention. We need to make that happen. Part of the 2 needs uncut version as well. I heard someone puked from the uncensored test screening. Nice. I would like to see that. Speaking of puke, there was a ton of puke in Twin Peaks season 3. So interesting. When I watch it with my wife, she hates on-screen puking, like Sean Bean and Ronan, and or even the yarn puking in Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, or the fake puking in Team America: World Police. But there's some really nasty puking scenes in Twin Peaks season 3. So get ready if you haven't seen it. I think I'm the only one that hasn't seen it. So, man, just reminds me of back in the day, man, when that show came out. It was like a way of life. I thought I was living in Twin Peaks. It was the coolest thing ever. Just moved to a new town, and it was like this small, kind of woodsy town, and yeah, it was a weird vibe. And I had Twin Peaks posters and stuff all over my wall, man. I was into it. I never did get a Laura Palmer or anything like that. Or actually, I think I was more Audrey Horne guy, but never panned out. No, yeah, Frankenheimer's doing good work on TV. Yeah. I need to get 52 pickup. Yeah, I haven't seen that in ages. It's good stuff. But yeah, Ronan, it's just ridiculously good. What's my favorite joke in Airplane? It's tough. I mean, the ones I say the most all the time are, it looks like I picked the wrong week to stop sniffing glue. Any of the bits with, have you ever seen a grown man naked? Do you like gladiator films? The White Zone. Listen, I had enough with your White Zone shit. That's good. What else? And yeah, what do you make of this? Yeah, a hat, a brooch, a pterodactyl. Yeah, any one of those is my favorite joke in Airplane. Yeah, we should do an NYC LaserCon. I know a guy named Vinny who used to run a place called Laserland, and he's got like connections. I think he needs to help out with this NYC LaserCon. It's kind of right in the middle, right? We can get all us East Coaster guys in the city, no problem. We can get Moikey from the great state of New York to make a little bit of a road trip, and then yeah, we could just paint the town red, hang out, have a big LaserDisc con. I'm down. Moikey does not like the Twin Peaks. Ah, man, it's too bad, because you like X-Files, and there's, like, as it keeps going, it kind of, it came out before X-Files, but it really does almost cross over. And this season literally does have at least one crossover thing that wasn't X-Files specific, but it is an X-Files thing. But anyways, and Fox Mulder's doppelganger agent Denise. He plays another agent in the flick that, yeah, I don't want to ruin anything. But yeah, you got to see it for what's his face? David Fancy Face. Yeah, check out Twin Peaks. Watch it again. You will like it. Oh, he did not run Laserland. All right. Well, he was part of Laserland. Close enough, right? So, I hear Tom Cruise is coming. I'm just going to start spreading rumors already. I hear David Duchovny is coming. Okay, cool. We talked to Mookie and like the weird like X-Files-y stuff doesn't like start happening to the second season. So maybe you're getting bored of season 1, but just watch like the Pretty Ladies or something and wait for the time to go by. It gets weirder as it goes. Oh, by the way, does anyone know how to fly a plane? Airplane 2. That I was just thinking about recently. Something about the Shatner connection. Somebody was saying Shatner said something in it or did something in it, and I was thinking about how I used to watch that all the time on cable back in the day because it was always on, and I was thinking, yeah, does it hold up? I was just thinking about that recently. I'm like, I wonder if Airplane 2 holds up because I thought it was the funniest thing ever. He's giving the tour of the room, explaining all the like the blinky lights and all the nonsense, and he makes the cool the kind of sounds as the doors open when he walks through, and oh yeah, so many great jokes in there. But yeah, I haven't seen it in so long, so yeah, I didn't know if it really held up or not, but I'm gonna check it out while Mookie's watching Twin Peaks. I'll watch that. What did you have? Chicken or fish? I had lasagna. Oh man, everyone lining up to take their hit. The hysterical lady, that was great. Oh man, the jive, it's classic. Yeah, everything about Airplane's awesome. When he's telling the Stryker's telling the stories and everyone's like turning into skeletons, or nobody wants to hear his damn story. Anyways, yeah, what else was on my hit list of strange things to talk about? Sometimes, yeah, we should get some celebrities. Be like this week, James Cameron's going to stop in for a little bit. But yeah, I think that was a bit for Hot Topics. Hot Topics. What was going on this week in the LDF? Was there any crazy stuff? Oh yeah, California is a good David Duchovny flick. It's not bad. It's kind of weird. It's a little languid, and but I mean the cast rules. It's got Michelle Forbes from Star Trek Next Gen, and Juliette Lewis, and yeah, Brad Pitt's early. He's just such a hot mess in that movie. It's like one of those things. It's just kind of like a good late night weekend movie. It's going nowhere slow, but when it gets there, it's pretty good. Oh yeah, where Shatner's on TV, but he's just behind the door in Airplane 2. That's good. Yeah, Kentucky Fried Movie, Top Secret. Yeah, we were talking about Top Secret last week, I think. Good stuff. Shout outs to Sam from Olympia, Washington. Nice. We got someone close to the heart of Twin Peaks. Excellent. I'll have to come visit. Maybe we'll do a West Coast, Pacific Northwest Laser Con after the New York one turns into this big giant event. Big deal. I mean, it was cool doing Retro World for a couple of years, but it was a bummer that I was odd man out at that convention. It was 98,000% vintage gaming, and then just me in the corner and like Bob Backlund talking about wrestling and like a couple other non-direct gaming things. But yeah, it'd be awesome to have an actual LaserDisc convention where I could go and hit a dealer's room, etc., and buy some discs, and maybe we'd have some panels and things like that. And yeah, that'd be awesome. I don't know if I have any stand-up comedy concert movie LaserDisc. There's obviously the Eddie Murphy stuff. I've seen at least one Robin Williams one. I think there's some Carlin stuff. Do I own? I don't know if I actually own any stand-up comedy LDs though. As I put in my thinking, I don't think I do. Yeah, I think I have some like comedy-ish stuff, but nothing stand-up. Machiwumi Poo's only seen 2 episodes of Twin Peaks. All right, see? All right, good. I'm not the only one that needs to get some more Twin Peaks in. Over the weekend, I'll punch through a few more episodes and get that going. See what happens. See if I still like it. Vinny's waiting for me to turn. Newest Blu-ray pickup. Oh yeah, you missed that earlier. I can do a recap. I grabbed the 4K of Alien after these characters talked me into getting it last week. Yeah, I thought it looked great, actually. I watched it late one night and didn't have any problems with the color timing or anything like that. And I grabbed Overlord 4K, and I actually like the slip on this. It's cool. With the blood-stained parachutes, and, of course, the American movie classic, The Man Who Killed Hitler, and then the Bigfoot. So that was it this week. I got to pick up a couple things, maybe this weekend. We'll see. It's been pretty slow on the new incoming merchandise. Yeah, they never did port those special features from the DVD to the Blu-ray release. Yeah, it was like Full Tilt Boogie and all that stuff. I've got the Canadian From Dusk Till Dawn Blu-ray, I think. I've still got my From Dusk Till Dawn LD too. I love that special edition. It's the special behind the scenes features isn't quite as immersive as Full Tilt Boogie, but it's still pretty badass. Great commentary track and nice gatefold. Yeah, awesome stuff. I don't have I think there was a DTS reissue of that probably, right? I'm thinking. I don't have it. I just have the Dolby Digital one, which is great. But yeah, 4K. It says Alien looks great. I thought so too. Great detail. It was cool. Especially all those opening shots, because I've seen the beginning of the movie so many times. It was one of those things sometimes I would throw on just to like test out sound or like look at like brightness levels or something on my TV, and seeing all the detail and the Nostromo as it's coming to life. Yeah, really gorgeous stuff. So I enjoyed it. Oh, nice. Another shout out for Overlord. So cool. I'm going to fire that up this weekend. The Lock was giving a shout out to Delirious. He usually goes straight for the raw and forgets how funny Delirious is. Oh, good. We're gonna do a live stream. The Lock's gonna do raw, like complete. If we ever do like a Ready Player One situation, that's gonna be his trial, like instead of war games in the book. He's gonna have to recite all of Eddie Murphy's raw in order to get to the next level. So get ready. And I'll do maybe I'll do Big Trouble in Little China. We'll see. I think I know all those lines. Yeah, I'd love to get those. Actually, I think I bought a copy of Raw from somebody one time, but then the deal just fell through. Oh, nice. More shout outs for the Opeth shirt, or the Oprah shirt, as Mikey calls it. Oh, nice. Going to see Iron Maiden this September. I don't know if Peter's still in the house, but he's a huge Iron Maiden fan, as I am. And I haven't seen them since probably, what was the last tour I saw them on? Probably a Final Frontier tour, maybe? Something like that. Yeah. I know I saw him on the one before, the Matter of Life and Death. I saw him on that tour with Bullet for My Valentine opening, I think. That was a while ago. Fist in the North Star. Yeah, I think that's on LD. I don't have a copy of that, but I'm pretty sure I think there's a domestic of that. Sean's probably back on a flight by now. He can confirm that. But I'm pretty sure I've seen a domestic copy of the Fist in the North Star. There's some really good LD anime releases. I need to get more storage and get a ton more of those things. I still haven't even completed my Macross collection or my Dirty Pair collection, so. Oh, damn, you saw it in the theaters. Nice. The Lock saw Adrian Smith in the pub down the road. What? Just hanging out in the pub. That's awesome. Did he go up to him and play some solos, Adrian? I'm sure he would love that. Nice. More Fist of the North Star love. Yeah, I don't think I've ever met a member of Iron Maiden. Nope, I haven't. I had to think about it. Well, lots of other people, but no one from Maiden. Yeah, I don't have any major concerts coming up. Slayer soon, a couple weeks. I'm gonna go see them, and I think Behemoth and Lamb of God and Cannibal Corpse, in Massachusetts. So that'll be good. And I don't have any tickets for anything after that. I'm just gonna play it by ear as the summer progresses. But I would definitely love to see Maiden again. It's been a little while. Yeah, the lock wins for the Adrian Smith encounter. Hopefully it was just like he cornered them, got to talk to him about something cool, like Tom Cruise movies or something. Oh, he was in a small band called Skeleton Crew. Total fluke. Nice. That's pretty cool. Was that the period when he wasn't in Maiden? Like that's what he was doing? While Yannick was taking his place? That's pretty cool. I'll have to check out Skeleton Crew. I don't think I've ever heard. Did they record anything? I wonder. Or if they were just playing pubs, doing covers. Someday I'll get back on the stick and play some shows. I actually have some fresh mastered audio of a few tracks that came back from the studio this week, so I'd play them, but I think they're on my hard drive downstairs, and I don't trust my OBS studio for playing them without blowing your eardrums out. Oh wow, we got a little bit of a Star Wars meeting tomorrow. I gotta watch the Harmy version. Yeah, I still gotta get 4K 77, and yeah, I haven't seen that, nor the 4K 83. I gotta check those out. I know somebody who's got a copy. Wink, wink. I just need to send a hard drive his way someday. He's got a lot of cool 35mm scans I want to get my hands on. But yeah, I'll be watching some Star Wars soon. I'm definitely celebrating the 25th with Spencer. But anytime in May is a good time to watch some Star Wars. I was just thinking I'm going to fire up my Definitive Collection box in a while. I haven't watched that in a while. Yeah, Cannibal Corpse is insanely punishing live. I just love how George Corpse Grinder Fisher windmills like a madman and verbally abuses everybody in the audience, and I totally deserve it when he abuses me. It's great. I never feel happier about being just completely pummeled verbally. He just calls everyone out on being a wimp, and yeah, it's great. It's always a good time. They're just so tight, and Alex Webster's killer bass player, obviously. I got to talk to Paul Mazurkowitz when they were on Mayhem Fest a couple of years ago. What year was that? 2011 maybe? 2010? Maybe it was 2011. They were kind of headlining the second stage. And nicest guy. Super cool. Hung out with him for like 15 minutes or so and just chewed the scenery. Chewed the fat. But yeah, so hopefully Pat O'Brien will get out of his funkies in and pick up some more flamethrowers and get back to exterminating. Oh man, I was going to see Obituary. Damn, I missed the chance. They actually came through Hartford, Connecticut, my neck of the woods, and played a pretty reasonably small venue. I wish I had gone. But, and the Loch missed him in Wales with Slayer. I do like Nile. I love Nile. Carl Sanders, yeah. It's like right up my alley. It's like nothing but like Egyptian lore and H.P. Lovecraft and death metal. It's like, what's not to like? Love it. Yeah. Looking forward to some more Nile. I've got all their stuff on CD. Sadly, I don't have any vinyl, but Annihilation of the Wicked might be my favorite. It's just, that's like one of the CDs I remember putting on in my car and driving, and track one actually like made me stop breathing because I was just so pummeling. I actually like stopped. I was so into it that I just stopped thinking and breathing. I think my interview with Carl Sanders is probably still up on YouTube. I don't have too many on my other channel, but I have a channel called House of Zaz. That used to be the name of my metal show I was doing at the time. And I think I got an interview with Michael Okerfeldt from Opeth on there, and Carl Sanders, a couple other people. Troy Sanders from Mastodon, and who else? Maybe a few others on there. And I've got some audio-only ones. Oh, David Ellefson from Megadeth. I got some audio-only ones. Peter from Opeth before he left, and Frederick from Opeth on archive.org. I think those are still on there. I got a ton of old interviews I should probably upload, like Gary Holt from Exodus, Slayer, and all sorts of stuff. I used to do a lot of interviews back in the day, but not so much nowadays because I don't do the radio show anymore, sadly. I miss doing that, but it was midnight to 3 on Wednesday nights. So, yeah, not so great when you have to get up in the morning on Thursday. But Slayer and Anthrax, Testament, and Napalm Death. Man, I saw Napalm Death, and it's turning into the metal live stream. I saw Napalm Death in, was it 92 with Carcass and Candlemass? Or was it Candlemass? It was in like the edge of Massachusetts and New Hampshire. And yeah, it was Carcass was just dropping Descanting the Insalubrious, and yeah, they were just on fire at the time. Really good stuff. Oh, celebrate the four-eyed stormtrooper. I'm going definitive. I'm going to fire up that definitive box set. It's been a while. Amongst the Catacombs, some Neferin Ka. Yes, that's good stuff. Black Seeds of Vengeance is usually in my head at the drop of a hat. Anytime I can think about it, I'll just like, Black Seeds of Vengeance. So yeah, sorry for all the death metal talk, everybody. No, I haven't seen the Robert Johnson Netflix documentary. I was just watching the Fire Festival one again with my wife. She hadn't seen it. And I was thinking about I should check out some more documentaries on there. So yeah, I'll fire up that Robert Johnson one for sure. Nice. Saw Carcass in 92 with Entombed. I wish I saw Entombed. I wish I saw Entombed on the Wolverine Blues tour. I'm a major apologist for the rock and roll kind of vibe of Wolverine Blues. But I did see Carcass again in 94 when they were touring for Heartwork, and they're playing like a couple tunes that would eventually wind up on Swan Song 2. It was when Michael Hickey was playing guitar with them for a hot minute after Michael Ament left. And really small show, but super cool. I got Bill and Jeff to sign all my CDs and everything. Bill was like kind of reclusive, but he came off the bus. And Michael Hickey was just super drunk and aggressive. And he was like playing near his hometown, so I guess he was kind of like all fired up for like kind of conquering hero coming back. So it's funny because I met so many musicians, and nobody ever in any metal band was uncool with me except for Michael Hickey. Yeah, he was just really aggressive and just like kind of snotty and bitchy. Yeah, it was weird. And then sadly he wasn't in the band that much longer, but I think he was in Venom for a little bit. But Unleashed. I've never seen Unleashed. I wish. Yeah, that'd be on my list. Rock the Vote. The Lock likes to rock the vote. Yeah, I'm down. I'm down with the super nasty, gnarly Carcass from the early years, and I'm down with the super groovy rock and roll stuff from the end period too. And I dug Surgical Steel. When they came back, I thought that stuff was good too. But I can rock. I even love their Bjork song, the like the Carcass version of Isabel. I love that. Anyways, back to LaserDisc. Ooh, you got the 2001-2010 Japanese box set, the Clint Eastwood 3-movie western, and the Scarface signature. Hot damn. Yeah, I don't have that 2001-2010 Japanese set. I'd like to get that. I'm also an apologist for 2010. I like that flick. Peter Hyams is okay in my book. I mean, he's super workmanlike. I remember I was sad because I read an interview with him in Sydney Fantastique once when he was just saying about he can't stand watching his own stuff because he's so workmanlike. And it just seems like he's like a hired gun, like it's a job, but he doesn't really see any art in it when he watches it again. And I remember just the interviewer like, oh, come on, man, you did like cool movies, man. You did 2010. And he's like, yeah, whatever. It was probably around when Time Cop came out. I think that might have been what he was talking about. But yeah, he just doesn't dig his own stuff. But yeah, I like 2010. The last I just about was Firefox. Firefox is one of those LDs I always find like a pan and scan copy from the early 80s, and it's always covered in like 5 layers of dust and dog hair and like a record store, and then the owner wants like $15 for it. And I'm like, no. I saw Firefox in the drive-in, and it was the second movie playing, and I wish I could remember what the first one was, but I was bored out of my gourd because I forgot the first one was like something, must have been like something exciting, adventure, or sci-fi or something like that. And Firefox, like I was totally into because cool planes and stuff, but I remember it was pretty long, and I was getting wicked tired, and I was just sitting in the car at the drive-thru, and I'm just like, is this movie never gonna end? I don't know what's going on. It was just a little too young to really get into it, I guess. So I need to watch it again because I'm sure I'd love it now. But yeah, younger me, he didn't have time for that stuff. Yeah, 2010's got cool effects, man. Good cast too, man. Yeah, got the Lithgow up in there. It was like Lithgow was kicking ass left and right back in the day. Nice. Locke came up with the Eastwood theory the other day. He played retired characters my whole life. Yes, like the minute you were born, he's like, I'm retiring by playing retired characters. Yeah, he'll never retire. Even when he's dead, he's going to keep playing retired characters. They'll drag him in for one last mission. Yeah, I need more. I need more Eastwood LD. I need some of those box sets for sure, and that Dirty Harry box set. I need that sucker. But yes, I'm glad Peter was able to help with the Deadpool aspect ratio situation 4K was having. Peter's good with that stuff. He will help you far and above and beyond what other people will do. Oh, Trevor Noble joined in. What are we talking about? We're not talking about Spellcaster. We're talking about Clint Eastwood movies. We're talking about Firefox. And we're talking about Clint Eastwood always being retired. And we're talking about heavy metal and Carcass and Nile. Oh, the Mule. Yeah, I still haven't seen the Mule. I gotta check that out. Yeah, basically, yeah, metal LDs and Clint Eastwood. That's pretty much it right now. And the man who killed Hitler, and then the Bigfoot. I'm so gonna watch that. Probably gonna stay up a little late and watch a little Twin Peaks tonight, though. I need a little bit of fix, a little bit of Dougie Jones before I go to sleep. We'll see. What's everybody got going on for the weekend? Any plans? Any LaserDisc hunting or Blu-ray hunting? No. All right, good. I'm glad I asked. I wonder if Moikey's still in the house. You still out there, Moikey? I'm trying to talk in my ASMR voice and get him to go to sleep. I'll start tapping on things. But yeah, I'm hoping to finally go pick up this player. I've got another Sony MDP-333, the world's most despised player, coming my way. Kind gentleman had a unit and wasn't able to kind of get it back up and running, and knew that I was a Sony fan and had my own MDP-333, and he kindly offered to ferry it my way via his brother in Connecticut. And I've been meaning to just go meet up with him. Schedules hadn't worked out. So I think tomorrow I'm officially doing that. Oh no! I see the screen of death. The Ouroboros snake eating its tail. I think I'm back on. But yeah, so I think I should be going down to pick that up tomorrow. Oh yeah, the Star Wars meeting. 30 people. Nice. Doing some backyard. Excellent. That's a good way to do it. I'd love to get... wish I had a good backyard. Do a nice inflatable screen. Show some LaserDiscs or Blu-rays out there. That is a good time. Cool. Well, cheers. Enjoy that. I'll probably be knee-deep in messing around with that Sony player once I get it. Hopefully I can get it up and running. We shall see. If not, maybe it'll be donor parts for my player. I really want to do, I wish I knew more about it. I'll have to get my buddy Bill on tap if he's not busy working on Peter's players, but I need to start recapping players and stuff like that. I want to hot rod a low-end Sony single disc player, put AC3 in it. It's already got an optical out, so I'm already good with that. But maybe make some custom wood sides for it, give it the full elite thing, really juice it up, put some high quality components in there, and and then the laser will end up failing on me anyways. But still, I just want to juice it up and have the world's coolest entry-level Sony player. Oh, nice. Daughter learning how to drive. That's good times. I remember terrifying my parents when I was learning how to drive. My mom didn't handle it well. My dad was pretty cool with it, actually, but... Nice, another working Sony player. Nice, cool. But no problem. Cheers. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for joining in on the fun and activity. Have fun with the Star Wars meeting tomorrow. Ooh, would I rather play with Metallica or have a cameo in a Bond film? That's tough. I'd be worried that my cameo would be cutting room floor. Oh, my Ouroboros is coming back. I'll wait to answer before I know I'm... it says I'm okay. Make sure I'm streaming. Give it a second while the snake chases its tail. Come on, you can get it. Chase that dragon. Yeah, I'd be worried that my Bond scene would get cut. And then I'd be like telling everybody, like, hey, I was in a James Bond movie. And they'd be like, sure you were. Which one? I'm like, oh, I was totally in Shatterhand. And they'd be like, yeah, well, I saw that. And you weren't in that. I'm like, well, I cut it. And it'll be like the same as having like the girlfriend from Niagara Falls, like back in like middle school or something. So, yeah, but then the experience of being on set would be pretty amazing. But then I'd also worry about the possibility, like I'd be on set and I'd just have to deal with like a second unit, and like I'd see on the horizon Daniel Craig or something and not get to talk to anybody. So if it was like a real cameo, like a good spoken word moment, or I was playing like my James Bond villain, oh, was it Gunnar Devilock? That's my James Bond villain name. If I was playing Gunnar Devilock, and I had some cool lines, then yeah, maybe that would be a competition. But I have had vivid dreams where I've been playing with Metallica. I actually had one not that long ago, maybe about a year or so ago, where for some reason, like Metallica, like Rob Trujillo couldn't play bass, and they needed someone to fill in. But on the same hand, like they had also asked my band to open for them locally at this one location, and that same night, Rob like injured himself or something, so he couldn't play bass. So I was going to not only play with my band, but I was also going to play with Metallica that night. And it was one of those like dreams that just kept going like the entire day, except for the part where I was actually playing with them. That never manifested. But everything leading up to it happened, and it just like kept going and going. And I remember I got there and I was like all like paranoid. I'm like, I didn't even bother to bring a bass. Like I didn't bring anything. Like it's like going to school without your pants on. So I get there and I'm like, I didn't bring a bass. And then I see in the corner, like in like the Metallica like camp outside where they practice or whatever, outside the venue in the hallways, there was like a little carpet and there was like this bass station. There was my amp, my little crappy Scott Pilgrim combo SWR rig. It was all set up and like my basses were there. And I'm like, oh, cool. Because I was thinking, I'm a lefty. Like, I can't use Rob's gear. Like, I'm a lefty. I should have bought my bass to this Metallica gig. And so then, yeah, I was hanging out and I was like, all right, cool. I was like, I don't actually know how to play a lot of these newer Metallica songs. Like, I can play a lot of the older ones, but I'm like, man, I really should have learned them. I was like, I'm really hoping I just go out there and I just miraculously know how to play these songs. Because I think I'm supposed to be feeling confident about this. And then James Hetfield was hanging out, and we were like walking out around the venue, and then my band was actually playing, and I'm like, hey, that's weird. That's my band. Like, it's late. I should actually be playing with them. And then that's about as far as I got. I never did play with Metallica, but it almost happened. So I think because it's like a moment that almost became a reality, I'm going to go with playing with Metallica. But I would definitely be down to hang out on the Bond film set for a little while. I heard they're going to, they already did some Norway footage. They're doing Jamaica now. They're supposed to be doing some stuff in London if they haven't already. I think that's happening soon. So, yeah, this could be my big chance. Maybe I'll do like my whole Chris Carter cold calling technique. Get on the phone with Eon and try and pitch my Gunnar Devilock character. Get on there. Oh, Trevor's watching the Bigfoot. All right, cool. I'll watch it too. We'll reconvene over the weekend and compare notes. It's got 5 stars according to Fancy Giblets. Alan Simmons, Live for Films. I don't know who Alan Simmons is. I don't know what Live for Films is, but he really likes it. Yeah, I always like the, where was it? I always liked that Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me. Has a bunch of superlatives on the cover, but it's got a quote from the Hartford Courant. Like, my local paper never gets quoted on anything, and it's just as mesmerizing. I don't even know who wrote that. Probably Malcolm Johnson was the guy that was writing at the time. But I was like, cool. Local stuff. I mean, we're about as far away from the Pacific Northwest as you can get in the States. So I thought it was cool. The Hartford Courant got some love on the Twin Peaks LaserDisc. I mean, it would have been cooler if I was writing for them, but Anyways, so yes, good times had by all. So yeah, I'm going to get a player tomorrow. Just do a little bit more player maintenance kind of stuff. Maybe try and get that thing up and running. Hopefully these knuckleheads will call me back about that lot I looked at last week. We shall see. But Locke was watching Navy SEALs. One of the people in the credits was Lauren Palmer. I thought about Twin Peaks. Nice. I love that Cheryl Lee really had so little to do in Twin Peaks, but made such a huge impact on it. It was cool watching Firewalk with me, and she actually had scenes and was able to do things as a live Laura Palmer. Yeah, I was bit hard back in the day. I bought all the merchandise, and I had to get the Secret Diary like the day it came out. I got the audio book of the Cooper tapes, and the other one, the autobiography of Dale Cooper. I got that. I even have a cool book. I think it's in the other room. It was all like college level essays about Twin Peaks, and I think I got that in like 97 or something. So like really, really deep, like, sometimes a bit of nonsense. Yeah, people just looking for a grade, just kind of coming up with some sort of ridiculous connection and running with it. But really interesting book, and picked that up, and of course, I got some T-shirts and stuff like that, and I had to get the soundtrack album, and I used to play that all the time. I used to know that on guitar. It's like really, really low. It's like drop C or something like that. But what I got to do is start archiving all my old Twin Peaks VHS stuff, because I used to always tape everything, like Entertainment Tonight or something had a piece about Twin Peaks, or any like local news or any of the stuff, because I was really psyched about it when it was hot. And then around the time season 2 was coming out, Wild at Heart came out too, so I do have some like ancillary David Lynch, Wild at Heart coverage, and like the music channels were always covering stuff about the Badalamenti score, and I got a lot of really cool stuff on VHS like about Twin Peaks. So I need to start archiving that and getting it out to people. I'm sure it's all on YouTube already, because everything's on YouTube. If you can think about it, it's already on YouTube. In fact, there's already a guy that looks just like me, who's like Dougie Jones, and he's doing the same exact live stream. Yes, you're welcome for the Bond Metallica question. I like the hard-hitting, terrible choices I have to make. You're going for the Bond cameo. All right, nice. Yeah, double take guy. Yeah, you could be like the guy in Moonraker and The Spy Who Loved Me. Yeah, you could be that guy. Like, having your drink or whatever, and like, what? And then maybe everyone will like your double take so much that you'll be in the next movie. They'll be like, oh, we got to get him back. He's the guy that did the double take. Yeah, that'd be fun. Yeah, or if I'm just like a lame henchman that gets murdered or taken out pretty quickly by Daniel Craig or whoever ends up taking on the role next. Does anybody have? I think we were going at this before. Any predictions for Bond actors? I'm kind of torn between nobody and nobody. Like I don't think I'm gonna know who is the next person that actually gets chosen. Everybody just talks about Idris Elba all the time, but I think it'll be somebody that's completely off the radar, just like Daniel Craig was. So it'll be a total surprise. But I don't even know if there's anybody I'm gunning for right now. But like back in the day, it was Jason Isaacs before Craig got hired. But yeah, I don't know. There's nobody I'm like really like super gunning for. I was talking to like the major boss of my like branch of my corporation I work for, and she was complaining about she didn't like the Daniel Craig movies, and she wants Idris Elba. So and she wanted Clive Owen when Michael Dudikoff. Yeah, good call. Trevor Noble just saved the day. Michael Dudikoff or like maybe Mark Dacascos, something like that. But Dudikoff would be good. I'd be down with that. He's got the chops, right? He's got the chops. Or man, maybe isn't he Robert Zadar or whatever? He's passed on, right? So he can't do it. Michael Ironsides. Get him to do it. Yeah, I don't know. Let's just get ridiculous. But yeah, I got no dog in that race. I'm just hoping they don't like cast somebody like total clown shoes, some knuckleheads, or if they go like they were going to do in the '70s and go full on American. And yeah, don't do anything like that. So I think they've learned their lesson. I don't think they'll try that again. American Ninja, man. The '80s and ninja movies was the coolest. Like I was pretty much convinced I could be a ninja between all the Shokasugi flicks and the American Ninja series, and me and my dad just watching those movies. And I remember hanging out. There's a mountain nearby that you can, small mountain that you can hike up. And it's super cool and lots of great like areas if you wanted to like film a action movie or something. And I was like, I'm gonna make a ninja movie. I didn't have any filmmaking skills or story or ninja skills, but yeah, I was gonna make a ninja movie up there because I was like, yeah, this would be the coolest thing ever. And me and my dad were like convinced we were ninjas because we were watching those damn movies all the time. Jeff Speakman's available. Nice. We get some Jeff Speakman in there. I did write a comedy script called The Deadly Fists of Jesus. It was a short film that I was actually going to film up there, but I never got around to making it. Going back to my script writing period that we talked about earlier. But maybe someday someone will unearth The Deadly Fists of Jesus and bring that back. So I just saw the archive was hustling VHS copies of Jesus Christ Vampire Hunter. Has anybody seen that movie? It's amazing. I forgot the name of the guy. He's a Ottawa film director, and he makes a bunch of hot nonsense. Really, really like low skill, low budget, amazing movies. And I got Jesus Christ Vampire Hunter on DVD when it first came out, and just blew my mind. What's the name? Phil Caracas is the name of the guy that plays Jesus, and yeah, he's hooking up with the super lesbian Mary Magnum, and he's going on a mission with El Santo, who's of course his henchman, and lots of lesbian vampires going on, and it's just amazing. It's really good stuff. Highly recommend Jesus Christ Vampire Hunter if you can get it. There's even a musical number. It's really, really kind of poorly made, but the acting is top notch. I can't really. It should be on LaserDisc. Then Moiki could see it. Moiki might have to get it on VHS just to watch it. Yeah, Franco Nero is the Italian ninja. We need more ninja movies, man. And not like really high quality ninja movies. We need more like kind of middle of the road classic ninja movies. Whoa, The Lock met Franco Nero. Was he playing with Adrian Smith? This is amazing. I demand a video of the 10 famous people you met now because they're equally amazing every time one. But yeah, lesbian vampires. Like, what more do you want? And then like Jesus fighting against alongside El Santo, and it is ridiculously awesome. I need to watch it again now. I actually did an illegal screening of it in. I used to do this little thing called Kino Cafe. It was a coffee house that a friend of mine ran, and really, really cool place. He kind of designed it to be a third space, basically, so you could hang out there when you weren't working or you weren't home, and we kind of turned it into like the headquarters for this film group we started, and we started the film festival and everything like that. But it all started with us doing like rogue screenings of things, and I'd get in like a bootleg, or not a bootleg, but like an import copy of Kung Fu Hustle, and I'd show it illegally there when it was still playing in theaters from Miramax. And I showed like Yamakasi, the Luc Besson parkour flick. A lot of fun stuff. But yeah, one of the ones we did was Jesus Christ Vampire Hunter. The paper even covered it, and we had a packed house. It was amazing. It was really good times. Man, I really miss doing the kind of aggressively under the radar film screenings. Like, didn't get the rights, none of that stuff. Just go for it. And yeah, it was a blast, man. We never got shut down. It was cool. Miami Connection. I don't know, man. I am not against the ninja. So I don't know if I can chill with the Miami Connection crew. Oh man, that movie is amazing. Yes, I need to see more of Miami Connection level movies for sure. The riff tracks with that was really awesome too. Yeah, the film screens were great. Yeah, it was cool. I did what else? We did like a short movie night. I did La Jetée. I always felt bad because my movies like drew, like I had a good audience, like because it was like ridiculous nonsense, like Yamakasi, like this local parkour group actually showed up. But then when my buddy would show like Jim Jarmusch films and like important like art house films, like it'd be like a smattering of people would show up. But I'd show some like ridiculous nonsense, like Jesus Christ Vampire Hunter, and we'd have a packed house. Shaolin Soccer, of course, I showed. Baraka one night, which of course like you need to see in 70 millimeter, but yeah, Coffee House will do too, right? But yeah, I showed La Jetée one night, and heavy metal, and one of the few ones I actually got the rights for was heavy metal in Bangkok, or not Bangkok, heavy metal in damn, what the hell's the name of it? The Vice movie about Akrasa Kauda, the Iraqi metal band. Damn it, heavy metal in Baghdad. Thank you. It's getting late. My brain's stopping working. I'm turning into Dougie Jones. But yeah, it was a really good time, and like we'd kind of rotate who would show the movies and stuff, and yeah, do it like 6 o'clock on a weeknight, and nobody ever bothered us, and just had a good time. So yeah, Miami Connection was high quality stuff. What was the name of the band? What was it? It was like was it Sound something? I can't remember the name of the stupid band. I don't know why. Dragon Sound, right? I think it was Dragon Sound. Oh, Chopping Mall or Short Circuit? Damn, I don't know. I mean, I think I was introduced to Johnny Five first. So I mean, as cheesy as Short Circuit is, it's always going to be engraved on my heart. Yeah, I got a little bit of warmth in there for Johnny Five at any given time. He doesn't need any input from me because he's got it. Yeah, I saw Short Circuit a couple times at the theaters. Remember those days when you could have a super outrageous Fisher Stevens, and Gutenberg was at the top of his game. Ali Sheedy was everywhere. Yeah, that was the times, man. Doing the 80s drive-in. Nothing but cool movies on the horizon. Yeah. I need to get a time machine, go back there, get some parachute pants, get some Don Johnson structured suits and some pastels. Oh, nice. Spencer did like some official film programming. Yeah, there was like one period when we had a guy who had an LLC that like was our umbrella, and yeah, it's a bitch to do it legitimately. The one after Heavy Metal in Baghdad I wanted to do was Incubus, which again is like one of my go-to like kind of examples for the cause for physical media, because like Incubus is this flick. It's like a lot of people that were working on The Outer Limits did this strange movie on the side with William Shatner, and it's like almost like a Swedish supernatural satanic movie, but it's an American movie, but it's all in Esperanto, the invented language, and it's really bizarre, and it's kind of had this mystique surrounding it as being this almost cursed movie, and it showed up and it hit DVD, and I tried to get the rights for it, and they were just impossible to track down. It had reverted to the one of the original producers who would shut down his production. Like he was in his 90s, he had shut down his production company in like Malibu, I think he was originally, and I tried the Chris Carter method, and I couldn't get it, and I was like, oh, if this was back in the day, I would just illegally show it, but I couldn't get the rights for it, unfortunately. And then of course the DVD company that I tried to contact them, and they didn't have the rights for it anymore, so it was a failure. So again, it's cursed. Short Circuit or Revolver. Yeah, I've never seen Revolver either. That's one of those movies that everybody has on Japanese LaserDisc, and I'm like, that looks cool. I guess I should watch that someday. But yeah, someday I'm going to see it. Is it as good as Gunhead? Or what else? What was that Eli Pujat movie? Death Machine? Is it as good as Death Machine? Is it as good as... It can't be as good as Hardware. No way. I'm going to just put a line in the sand right there and say it's not going to be as good as Hardware. But Oh, you do have all right drive-ins in the UK. All right, cool. That was one of the weird things about watching Dead End Drive-In is learning that drive-ins were like they used to be like a major thing in Australia. Because I was like, I didn't know they got exported that much outside of the states. They pretty much all failed over here too, and we've got two, I think maybe in my state. They're still going pretty strong though. They all had to do fundraisers to make the transition from 35 millimeter to digital. But now that they're digital, they can get all the stuff that's current, like brand new, and they don't have to wait for the prints to make their way there. So they can have Avengers Endgame opening like right away. And it was cool. I got to do a piece for public radio about one of the locations, and the guy that ran the place took us on a tour of it, and it's fun. He gets to like run all the operations from his iPad, so he can like walk around the premises and like keep an eye on all the theaters. And he's got like a direct link app on his iPad to control everything that he wants, like the sound and everything. So it's really cool. It was fascinating. It's a cool thing. Like on Wednesday nights, you can get like a carload of people in cheap, and it's fun. And you can tune in the audio on they transmit it over FM stations. So if you have a FM radio, you can tune it up and let your battery go dead while you're sitting there. It's a blast. I always recommend it. And you get to see 2 movies too, so it's fun. Yes, hardware is ace. That movie keeps getting better and better every time I see it. And I love Richard Stanley stuff. I love Death Devil. I love Lost Soul, the story of Island of Dr. Moreau. But hardware just keeps getting cooler and cooler every time. And I thought it was cool like back in the day. My dad was like all into cyberpunk stuff, so therefore I was into cyberpunk stuff. And soundtrack was killer with Order of Death from Public Image Limited and Ministry on there. It was just too cool. There's that whole like kind of 2080 connection that turned into a lawsuit, but whatever. And I love it. Oh, Trevor Noble said a swear word. I have to. There we go. Show us, you bad boy. UK drive-in pops up for a few days, like a special. Oh, okay, yeah. So it's not like a fixed establishment, but we need to bring back the drive-ins. It's good times. So Trevor's got a drive-in and you have to dodge bullets and stray rocket launcher attacks when you go to the drive-in. It's pretty bucolic. It's out in the middle of nowhere. It's fun. And then on the weekends they have a flea market. So I've actually bought LaserDiscs at the drive-in. It's really fun. It's like a pretty big one too. So you get to roam around and like cough up all this dust in your lungs from a long day of thrift shopping. It's fun. Yeah, it's a good time. Every once in a while, mixed in with the mixed in with the LPs, there'll be some LaserDiscs. And you can buy LPs that were sitting out melting in the sun, and they'll be all warped. And I'm like, who's gonna buy this crap? Or you can buy like sun faded, DVDs and where the spine's all kind of weak sauce. But the good people actually will have tents and or some sort of canopy over their gear. So that's nice. But yeah, it's fun. I used to go there a lot. It should be fired up. Actually, I think it's up and running. So I'll probably be hitting there soon. Usually at least once or twice a month I'll go out there. It's definitely hit or miss with LaserDisc, but yeah, it's fun. Have I ever seen a film at a drive-in with a scene from a drive-in in it? And funny, we were talking about that on that show I did, because we were talking about like meta moments, like films about drive-ins, and we were thinking about had we ever done it. And I don't think I had, but we were trying to think of like other potential films like Christine. Then we had this whole list of drive-in movies that would be great to see at the drive-in, and Twister obviously, and actually I'm pretty damn sure I saw Grease at the drive-in with the major drive-in scene in there. So actually, I think I have seen a drive-in movie at the drive-in. So I lied, because I know I saw Grease in like a regular multiplex, but I definitely saw it out at the drive-in. Yeah, my mom was like a big Grease fan. My dad was like, kind of begrudgingly okay with it. He was like, it's not that bad. But I think it was mostly because he liked seeing Olivia Newton-John in the tight leather outfit and stuff. So He's like, yeah, okay, I'll go see that movie. Yeah. Just like my dad was like strangely into Wonder Woman. Like really into Wonder Woman. Like I found out why later, but at the time I was like, oh, he really likes Wonder Woman. Yeah. He doesn't like the $6 Million Man as much as he likes Wonder Woman. So strange. $6 Million Man's really strong. Why doesn't he like him as much? Oh, Remo Williams, man, I haven't seen that. That is a weird watch, right? It is like way better than it should be, but it's not. Yeah, it's kind of weird, right? Blue Thunder. I saw that in the drive-in, and I saw that at like a second run theater too. Jaffo. Blue Thunder, man. Yeah, classic. Yeah. All right. So yeah, damn. I have seen multiple drive-in movies at the drive-in. I remember actually the first time I saw Blue Thunder probably was in a theater, indoors, and that was my first introduction to Starburst candies. I don't know why or how I had never had them before, but like my mom bought like a bag of it, like foolishly, like somehow put me in charge of it. So I had this big bag of Starburst candies, and I realized that I had like a real Trainspotting, like Renton-esque situation with Starburst candies. I just remember like that whole movie. I'm like, ooh, the intrigue. Ooh, I hope they figure out who the bad guy is or what's going on. And I'm like just popping Starburst after Starburst into my mouth the whole time. And at the end, I'm like, this is probably not going to feel good in the morning. This is probably a bad idea. But yeah, I'll never forget popping Starburst like a madman watching some Blue Thunder. Oh, Mischief. Damn, did I ever see that? I don't think I saw that in the theaters. But thinking of like 80s teen flicks made me think I saw Bad Boys a bunch of times in the theaters. I didn't see it in the drive-in though. And it didn't have a drive-in scene in it anyways, but just Mischief made me think about it. I haven't seen that in a while. Awesome flick. What film should Lionsgate Vestron do next? I know it doesn't even matter if they're Vestron movies anymore, right? They're just kind of doing whatever they want. So, yeah, who knows what they're going to do next? They're probably going to do Star Wars. Because, yeah, I mean, but it's cool. I mean, they're a little pricey, but I really like the Maximum Overdrive one. I had a blast with that. And that movie it's like so right, even though it's really not that great. But, and Emilio Estevez should be like that movie should be so much cooler for having him like post Repo Man in it. And like everyone watching that movie was like hoping it was going to have like the same level of kick-assness as Repo Man, or like his character would, and he's got a little bit of Otto in him, but not enough. Like it's just never quite hits that mark. But I love that flick. So yeah, that was one of my favorites, and I really like the Stuart Gordon Yuzna stuff, like Beyond Reanimator and Dagon and all that. So, but yeah, they are pricey as hell though. So, a matinee screening of Matinee that I did not see. I caught Matinee either on home video or cable. Might have been cable. Foolishly, I missed it in the theater. Any film where a henchman's gold tooth is used as a weapon is automatically great, and that's true. Ilsa She-Wolf, the SS Vestron video. Nice. Yeah, Twister had to drive in is asking for trouble. Yeah, that's the ultimate metal moment, is a Twister destroying a drive-through, showing Twister while you're at it, and then hopefully not dying. So, yeah, that's bad. Yeah, shout outs to Christian Hanna Horror. I know he had some, he was like down in the suck with those recent Twisters. I know he was saying he was okay and everything like that, but yeah, that was a close call. I had heard. Ooh, yeah, the Waxwork and Warlock Vestron sets. Yeah, Beyond Reanimator was more fun than I was anticipating. I don't know. Like, I really like Bride, and I didn't really hold up that much hope for Beyond. And, like, I was like, they shot it in Spain and everything like that. And, like, these actors, they don't even speak English or whatever. But no, it was fun. It was cool. Can I remember where I sat in the cinema when you watch a film? Sometimes, yeah. And especially there was, sadly, it just got razed to the ground. But, like, my go-to theater from the 90s had, the two wings, like, on either end had the biggest cinemas, like Cinema 1 and Cinema 12 were the two big ones. So I'd always try and, like, call the people at the front desk, because they never really advertised when and where they were screening. They just give you the times, and you got what you got. But I would call and be like, when's it screening in Cinema 1 and when's it screening in Cinema 12? So I had like my go-to, like it was like the last row of the like the pre-state. In fact, it took a while. They revamped it and turned it into stadium seating, but it was just kind of like a low kind of sloping thing for a while before they did the stadium. But like the last section of the first section in the pit on the floor, there was like a couple seats depending how many friends I had in the middle in the sweet spot that I would sit, and that was like my jam. That was my location. But I do have I hope I didn't get rid of it. I do have from another defunct cinema that was the first major megaplex or multiplex I used to go to all the time, and that was where I saw like the bulk of my new movies when I was a kid. They used to have these really cheesy green kind of vinyl seats, and they didn't really replace them as they started falling apart. So the armrests were prone to wiggling off and just coming off in your hands. And I went. We used to always like joke around to like take them home, and I went to go see Pulp Fiction for probably the third or fourth time with my roommates at the time in '94. Yeah, I think it was still '94, and the the armrest came off, and my roommate she just smuggled it, and I got home and she's like, I got it. So I drew like the Pulp Fiction logo on it, and like wrote the date on it, made everybody sign it, and I used to have it. I had like this collection of like nonsense that I got illicitly, like when this one guy came to deliver pizza from Pizza Hut one day, and he quit on the spot. So he just gave me the pizza in the entire, like the pizza warmer, like the big Pizza Hut warmer. So I used to use that for my cables in my band at the time. So I like drew all sorts like Misfits logos and Danzig and Metallica and stuff on this big Pizza Hut warmer. So that used to be like my illicit gear. I'd have that, and my Showcase Cinemas armrest that I stole from the Pulp Fiction screening. Well, actually, my roommate stole it, so she's the criminal, not me. Yeah, I missed the stupid Arrow Bride of Reanimator. Again, that was like right before they started hooking me up with copies. So they gave me the Reanimator one with the integral version and everything. But I missed Bride, and I need to pick that up because that movie's a lot of fun. So, 4K giving a shout out to the Slaughter High, which I've not seen, so I need to see that as well. Yeah, theatrical members. Yeah, I used to have a list somewhere. I don't know why. I just started kind of compiling like a list of everything I saw, like at what theater and who I want to go see it with, that sort of thing. And I got to get on the stick. I was doing on Instagram on Thursday nights. I would do Ticket Thursday because I've got all my movie tickets going back to 92. So like 94 is when I really started like making sure I kept them all. But I've got a lot of 92 and 93 ones too. But I'll match the day that I'm posting with the date of the movie. So, yeah, I'd try and find something for May 3rd, from the 90s or something like that, and post it today. But I've been really slacking on doing my Instagramming. But that was like a thing I was doing for a long time. So, yeah, love theatrical memories. So many cool things. Trevor stole an armrest, too. Oh, a friend of Trevor's stole an armrest. Good. I'm glad it was an epidemic. That's probably why the theater went out of business. Too many kids stealing the damn armrests. Yeah, finding that sweet spot is not easy, right? You gotta give it a shot. I used to have one in the faux IMAX that they had. Now that we have like a real IMAX, but we used to have like a kind of like IMAX 0.5, and there was like row J was the prime row, and like right in the middle was nice and sweet, and like the screen was like perfect level, so you were like kind of looking directly in the center of the screen, and yeah, it was nice. But yeah, workers have no clue about tech specs. Yeah, I know. I've talked to some guys that have done work on those places, and yeah, they don't care. Yeah, cinema tickets. The only thing that sucked is when I started becoming like a real movie critic kind of guy. They were all, sometimes I would get stubs, but a lot of times like I would just go to free screenings, and if I did get a stub, it just says like reserved $0 on there, and I wasn't good about like marking down like when and where I was seeing things. So I've got like a big batch of tickets from like the 2000s where I don't know what it was. But I know I saw reserved for $0 on a Tuesday night. I guess I can maybe reverse engineer it like figure out what was coming out near then. But sometimes I would see things like a month before it came out, like Borat. So it'd be tough to gauge. But yeah, now that I'm like paying a little bit more to go see movies, I actually get the name of the title of the film on there. So that's nice. Yeah, most of my old theaters are gone, torn down, or turned into like Walgreens, etc. Yeah, there's the one main theater that's near me that I go to a lot was, I think it opened in '96, so it's not really that much of a heritage. But yeah, a lot of the old we used to have a lot of like twin cinemas for 99-cent theater second run stuff. A lot of those got turned into other things, so the buildings are still there, but yeah, you can go and buy some cream, buy some Bengay or something there. Oh, the Lock Scotch Ghostbusters 2 from '89. Damn, I remember seeing that. I remember going with my girlfriend at the time and being disappointed in many elements of it, but being excited by some other elements of it. And yeah, but yeah, I don't actually have any tickets earlier than '92. I think is the earliest one. Eric 27's got a shoebox of ticket stubs. Nice. I got concert tickets too. I should start doing some of those, throwing those down on the Insta. But yeah, things, plans. Sometimes they fall apart. Oh man. But yeah, I don't know what made me think back then to like I should really start collecting these. But I started really getting into cinema. Like I was into it, but I really started getting into like this is my thing. Like early '90s. So that was probably it. I was like, I need to start kind of retaining some of this information. Maybe someday I'll need to look back on it, and it's cool. Yeah, it's awesome. I also love that it has the time when I bought it, so I can see like how late I was, and that like sometimes it was like cutting it into the trailers, so I could see like, oh crap, we must have been running there. And if I can remember who I went with, I'm like, oh yeah, he was like dragging his feet, and we got there like 10 minutes after the trailers had started, and we almost missed the beginning of the movie. So it's cool. It's like total time machine stuff. Yeah, tells you exactly what time I bought it at the counter. So that was awesome. Nice. Van Halen from '92 and Metallica from '95. I saw Van Halen post David Lee Roth. So yeah, Sammy Hagar in '88. And Metallica I saw in '88. Or was that '87? No, that was '88. Right before it was that Monsters of Rock tour, right before Injustice for All came out. So technically they were still pimping Garage Days. And then I saw them on the Justice tour with Queensryche opening, and then on the Justice tour with the Cult opening, and then I saw them with an evening of Metallica on the Black Album tour, and I went to the Black Album listening party at Madison Square Garden, and I saw them with Suicidal Tendencies and Danzig on the Binge and Purge kind of Black Album tour, and then there was like a huge gap, and then I saw them with The Sword and Machine Head in 2009, I think. So, yeah, that was all my Metallica viewings. But I missed them like '95, like that whole like gap from probably '94 was the time, and then like '94 to 2009 was like a Metallica desert for me. I should have gone to see them way more times. They were doing like that like kind of mini festival thing though, where they'd always be playing with like Limp Bizkit and Korn and like 3 other bands, or they'd playing Lollapalooza or something like that. So maybe I was just too tired. I didn't want to go see like a big show. Trevor's theaters are both closed, but the $1 theater is still up. Damn, that's impressive. The the one I used to go to in my childhood town is it turned into a Chuck E. Cheese. And then it turned into like a string of banks. And I just drove by it not too long ago. And I saw Star Wars there when I was a kid. I saw the China Syndrome. That was when I first saw someone say asshole on the big screen. I was super excited. And I was at the playground the next day. And I'm like, Michael Douglas is cool. He said asshole. That was it. I didn't really care about the drama or anything like that. I was just, excited about the asshole use. And anything like 70s and grindhousey, or at least what we got out in the boonies for grindhousey stuff, or car chase movies or anything like that. My dad would take me to go see those cheapy theaters. I think I saw like Mother Jugs and Speed in the theaters. I swear I saw that in the theater, and yeah, all sorts of crazy stuff. It was good. I miss those days. And Lock saw Metallica leaving before the last couple of songs in case I missed my bus and stuck in the car park for about an hour, so it was a total waste of time. Yeah, there's been some shows. I saw Pink Floyd in '94, and I swear the car park, just waiting to get out, was longer than the concert. It's just sitting there. I'm like, I gotta go to work in the morning. This is a bad idea. But yeah, I did the same thing at a few concerts where the song, the encore starts playing, and you're like, well, if I leave now, I can beat traffic, and sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. But yeah, I got a couple art house theaters in my neighborhood. There's one gorgeous one. They actually just redid their facade on Trinity College campus in Hartford, Connecticut. They've been around since the 60s, and it's an old chemistry lab turned into a movie theater, and gorgeous stuff. And they got the curtains, they've got 35 millimeter, they got 4K, they got just about everything. And yeah, they got a good connection with people. Christopher Nolan's given his personal prints to them before. Stanley Kubrick, I mentioned last week, he got involved with making sure they got a copy of Clockwork Orange when one of the local big theaters tried to throw their weight around and kind of renege on the deal. Yeah, it's a great place. Killer stuff. I've seen like so many great 70 millimeter screenings and stuff there, and yeah, so that's cool. I got that. And there's so we tried to bring back, there's a porno theater that's an old Art Deco theater. The one of the other Art Deco theaters that turned into a porno theater then turned into a music venue. That's still running kind of as a music venue. My band's played there a bunch of times, but they haven't really been doing much lately. But the porno theater, when we did that film festival, we actually conned them into letting us show like legitimate movies or like weird. We tried to like kind of have one toe close to the porn and have just like really weird, abstract, like art house, like super nouveau stuff, like almost Liquid Sky-ish. So yeah, so we did a bunch of screenings in there, and we were thinking like, man, this place would be cool. We were trying to get the owner to turn it back into like a real art house theater because the place is gorgeous. Just needs a lot of work. But the guy's like family owns that whole like corner. Like there's like next door there's a rental space where sometimes it's like a hair salon, sometimes it's, I don't know, who knows what. But the whole building and like the space above it is all like owned by his family. Like he inherited it, and there's like no rent or anything like that. So we're like, dude, you gotta get back into showing like legitimate film. And yeah, he just kept showing the porn. But we almost had it. It was like almost a thing, because we had this the Capitol Cinema Collective we put together, and we're thinking that we could actually invest in this theater and get it going. But yeah, I actually got a lot of art house theaters. The country's oldest museum or something like that, the Wadsworth Athenaeum. I used to work there too for a period, but they have a gorgeous theater and like old Italian 35 millimeter projector in there. We also used to do screenings out in one of the courtyards out there in the summer. It was really fun. But yeah, they get a ton of stuff, and then there's a couple other like art house, like, so pretty much anything, if it's like remotely artsy all the way to like Iranian films and anything in between, it's all pretty much gonna play here. So actually we're pretty spoiled considering I'm not in New York or Los Angeles. Sometimes I gotta wait a little bit, but they're all available. But yeah, man, I miss those second run theaters. This place was swimming in second run theaters. That was like a big deal. And I caught tons of killer 70s and 80s stuff there. You haven't seen Van Halen until you've seen them with Gary Cherone. I was just watching some Gary Cherone Van Halen footage this week on YouTube, because I found that video about what was his name? Was it Mitch something? The guy that was almost in Van Halen when they came on, was it VH1 or MTV or whatever, and they came out unannounced, basically, with Dennis Miller just announced that they were coming out, as Van Halen, but David Lee Roth walked out on stage, and everybody was like, is he back in the band? What's going on? And he wasn't. But they had already hired this other dude, and like he had been flown out to Eddie's place, and they had been working on songs, and he just turned on the TV, and there's his band with David Lee Roth, and he's like, oh, all right, I guess that's over. And he just like resigned immediately, and then never turned into anything. But that dude finally, he has like this Van Halen song that they were working on, and I don't know why he's able to like post it, but for some reason he was able to finish it with his vocals and post it. It doesn't have any bass or anything like that, but it was pretty interesting. But I had totally never really heard much about this dude in that period. But and then they got Gary Sharon, and I was watching some live Gary Sharon stuff, and I don't know, it just never really clicked with him and Van Halen for me. I did like Extreme though, but yeah, whatever. It was nice to see Wilford Brimley working with technology rather than smashing it with an axe, or shooting at something with a bow and arrow while riding a horse like a boss. Wilford Brimley for life. Yeah, right. Gary Sharon and Van Halen was just a weird mix, but yeah, it should have worked. It should have been like, yeah, Mitch Malloy. That was the guy. Yes, thank you. Yeah, watch that Mitch Malloy video. And he's like such a nice guy. He's like super, super nice. And he's like, well, yeah, they had Dave. And I'm like, well, I'm a big fan. I want to see him with Dave. So that's it. I guess that's it. My career's over. And like his voice wasn't even the perfect match with Van Halen either. Like the song he made was, it's like kind of weird vibe, but it probably would have been like a hit. Yeah. Would have been as good as, Humans Being or whatever they were doing at the time. Yeah, Trek films. Obviously I saw Wrath of Khan like about a ton of times, first run and second run. And The Motion Sickness I saw first run. But 3, I didn't see Search for Spock until the second run. And 4, I saw, first and second run. And I skipped school to go see 5 and got in trouble for it. And then was denied the ability to go see my girlfriend because my parents found out that I had skipped school to go see Star Trek 5. Kids, don't skip school to go see Star Trek 5. It's not worth it, I'm telling you. And then you don't get to see your girlfriend. On the plus side, because I didn't get to go out and see my girlfriend, I got to watch Dudes for the first time on cable that night because I had nothing else going on. So, and Dudes is the shiznit. I love that flick. So, but yeah, Trek films, second run was like where it was at. I don't have the Arrow Videodrome. I've only had the Criterion, so I will default to the Criterion Videodrome. But everybody loves everything Arrow better, so especially if it's an import. So I need to get more Cronenberg. I sold a lot of my Cronenberg DVD Criterions, like Naked Lunch, and I sold my MGM copy of The Brood, like a fool, and Scanners, because I'm an idiot, and I had kidney stones, so I had to pay for them. Well, pay for the medical treatment for the kidney stones, but the sticky floor made 4K more nervous there. Yeah, the cheaper the ticket, the stickier the floor. Miss 42nd Street, yeah. Nightmare 3 and the Hidden. Oh man, it's too bad you didn't see Nightmare 4 there, because I had the sticky floor, sticky roach motel scene. Yeah, man, I wish I could have seen some of the vintage New York grindhouse theaters. Yeah, I'm totally envious that you were able to check out stuff like Nightmare 3 and The Hidden. That's awesome. That's a killer double bill right there. THX certification, where have you gone? Yeah, sound logos, man. I miss those sound logos. Somebody was just talking about some of the Dolby Digital ones that they don't remember. I'm like, how can you not remember that? I was at the cinemas all the time, and all those ones, like Egypt and Canyon and the Ghost Train one and the City one. Yeah, man, there was always some cool ass Dolby Digital one or a THX one going on, and I was whatever cheesy little thing your local cinema had put together too. So yeah, that was part of the fun, man. And yeah, none of that stuff goes on now. IMAX has like a little bit of nonsense that plays sometimes before their thing. Though Cinemark has this really cheesy thing now that gets stuck in your head, where they do the Austin Powers thing, where one person's conversation melds into the other, and They're like, I hear the aliens just look just like pepperoni pizza. It's so stupid. And yeah, I've got it memorized, so every time I see it, it's just like stuck in my head. Trevor's fam loves Star Trek, so yeah, I grew up in a Trek friendly family for sure. My dad was equally Trek and Star Wars, so yeah, and I think my mom dragged me and a bunch of people to go see the motion picture, even though she didn't really care at the time. But I think from like Wrath of Khan on, she was into them, and of course she loved 4, because that's just fun, whales and nonsense and punks and yeah, computer. And then, yeah, did I ever miss? I don't think I missed a Trek movie in the theater ever since then, because I saw Generations, that one theater I was talking about that was like my '90s main multiplex thing that just got torn down. I actually went the night before opening night. There was like a sneak preview night, and they were showing Generations. So it was like a sneak preview for Generations and a sneak preview for the theater itself. And then I went to go see that again that like same opening weekend. So I saw that a couple times. First Contact I saw at that same theater. Insurrection I saw at First Run. And yeah, Nemesis I saw opening weekend too. So, and then I saw no, you know what? I missed Star Trek Beyond in theaters. I didn't see that till I got it on Blu-ray. So, I saw them all until Star Trek Beyond. I failed. So yeah, don't skip school to see Star Trek 5. Would make a great serial public information fund. All right, we need to do a YouTube collaboration video on that. Public service announcement. Like the most useless public service announcement. But somewhere there's a kid that's thinking about skipping school to go see Star Trek 5, or just watching it on his phone or something. We'll show him the error of his ways. Oh man, 4K's first movie is Popeye in the cinemas. That movie was so bizarre. I caught that for the first time on VHS, and I didn't know what to make of it, because I was like, I loved Robin Williams. I wish I could say I loved Robert Altman. I didn't really know who he was at the time. I liked Popeye cartoons, but it was just like super weird. It was a trip. Man, I'm trying to remember the first movie I saw in the theater. Like the first cinema memory I have is going to see Star Wars. And I remember I went with my dad, and my dad was a punk ass. He went to go see it with his like buddies already. So I like that opening weekend. Then he took me to go see it for his second screening. And he took me and like all these like neighborhood kids that used to hang out with him. Lord knows why. I mean, I don't think he was like touching them in the basement or anything, but it was more like, yeah, probably like into like, yeah, other shenanigans. But yeah, we all went to go see it. And I remember I saw Princess Leia come on the screen, and I was like, wow, she's pretty. And everybody laughed at me because I was like ridiculously young. And they're like, you're a nerd. Yeah. Austin saw Con Air at a really crappy rundown dollar theater. And sadly, I saw Con Air at the Sony Sherry in Boston. So it was like, first run. And I saw it again at that same theater that got raised with my cousin. So I had to see it more than once. But yeah, that would have been a good place to see it, a crappy beatdown cinema. Knowing is half the battle. Yeah, I used to love all the kind of leftover second run theaters that were still kind of making a go of it in the 90s. You could see something with like a bulb that was half brightness, and yeah, anywhere anytime I would travel too, I'd always try and find like the local crappy theater and go see something there if I could. Yeah, part of the experience. But yeah, now everything's digital. Yeah, even if it was a crappy rundown theater, they got like good quality presentation, no scratches on the. There's one art house theater that was like the crappiest art house theater ever in Hartford, Connecticut, and they would somehow damage everything immediately. So you would go see like 1 hour photo on opening weekend, and it already just had this. It looked like it had done a run, come to 99 cents, and like gone beyond, and it'd always be scratched up like horribly, like immediately. So they must have damaged them when they ran them through, and just didn't care. Oh man, Austin saw Eraser twice in theaters. I totally didn't see that till it hit video, because I'm a dork, and I didn't understand the importance of railguns and 3-inch CD data discs and and luggage, all that stuff. Eraser was, it was one of those things. I was like, it's not James Cameron, but it's Arnold. I guess I'll go see it. And I'm like, all right. And then I saw it on video, and I'm like, that was cool. I should have gone to see that in the theaters. I'm a dork. But and the most amazing romance between Arnold and Denise Williams there. Ooh, sizzling. Lighting up the screen with their chemistry. Oh, man. Yeah. And what? Eldon from Murphy Brown has his previous job there. Yeah, awesome flick. So good, I have it twice on LaserDisc. Oh, man. So 11:30, battery's winding down. I guess I'll probably start winding down and maybe watch a little Twin Peaks before going to bed. Celebrate Friday night. Oh, damn. Austin saw Twister at the drive-in. Excellent. And then the only thing that makes that better is if a Twister would come through and destroy the drive-in while you're watching Twister. But, oh, man, Twister and Eraser. I'm trying to think of some double features I saw. I saw The Crow and Speed at the drive-in back in the 90s. I saw, man, what else? There's a couple times I would go in the 90s and see stuff. But yeah, a lot of stuff in the 80s, a lot of Disney things. When they made the theatrical version of the Gil Gerard, Buck Rogers, I saw that at the theaters. Star Wars, obviously, a bunch of times. What was the Robin Williams? Was it Walter Matthau? Survivors. I saw that in the drive-in. I saw the Blues Brothers, Animal House. When I was too young to see any of that stuff. Labyrinth. I remember seeing Labyrinth, and I don't know what that was screening with, though. What was the second movie when I saw Labyrinth? Damn. Man, yeah. I don't know why I can't remember what that was. But, yeah, I got that list. I'll also find that list where I wrote down, like, all my remembered screenings. And, yeah, a lot of Disney stuff. Jungle Book and Aristocats and all that sort of nonsense. But Message from Space, I think I saw at the 99-cent theater, like indoors. I don't think I saw that at the drive-in. My mom still hates me for making her go see that. Oh, I saw Thor and Pirates 4 back-to-back. That's a fun one. Oh, First Blood and Bad Boys. Ah, man. Bad Boys I saw at least 2 times, but it wasn't in the drive-in, unfortunately. That was like one of those movies, like, we just wanted to go see it, just check it out. And then, like, I even got my mom hooked on it. And then we, like, dragged one of my friends to go see it again. We're like, you got to see this movie. It's the sickest. And we're like, as a young kid, I'm like, like taking notes. I'm like, yeah, if anyone ever messes with me, I'm going to put a bunch of RC Cola cans in a pillowcase and go at some dude. That movie was the coolest. Bad Boys, man. Yeah, that's a good one. First Blood and Bad Boys. That's a double feature. That's like some life lessons right there. That's all you need to know. How to take care of yourself. Take that, Brian Dennehy. First Money, The Locks. With your own money. Yeah, that was Staying Alive. Nice. Yeah, I'm trying to think. I was trying to think the first movie where I actually like plunked down money on a counter. Because it was tough. Because there was that like kind of period where my parents would sometimes throw money at me to like go with my friends. So I was trying to think of like after I got my first job. And like the first movie I actually like paid for myself, but it's pretty it's pretty tough to figure that out. 4K got high off the pot smoke in the theater. Man, yeah, you've had like the legitimate killer. Like I'm just imagining like the opening of The Last Dragon, like just some guy running around going joints and bags, and some guy like doing a slow motion stomp on a boombox, and show enough rolling in, declaring that he's the master. I just picture that, and that's awesome. Good stuff. Yeah, Sylvester Stallone, Staying Alive. I saw that on video. I missed that in the theaters. But Commando, yeah, I saw that in the theater. Ricky O, damn, and Savage Streets and the all-night marathon in the Art House. That is a crazy-ass combo. I saw Commando a couple times in the theater. Like post...
I guess like Conan, my parents went to go see. I remember they were lukewarm on it, and then I saw it, and I'm like, damn, this is amazing. But obviously, Terminator sealed the deal. So anything post Terminator, Schwarzenegger, even raw deal, we were going to check it out. Jungle Fever was playing with T2. That's an interesting double feature. It wasn't drive-in, but one of my favorite double features was Toy Story 2 and Psycho at one of my art house revival theaters. I got the Snake of Death. How are we doing? No, it says I'm green. But yeah, Toy Story 2 and Psycho was a weird one. When I saw the sneak preview of E.T. before it came out, it was playing with Dead Men Don't Wear Plaid. That was a weird one. Oh, Reel's Out of Order is the best. I haven't seen a Reel Out of Order since I saw press screening of The Kid Stays in the Picture, which is an awesome flick. But I went to one of those local art house theaters I was talking about, and they had totally swapped two reels, and I was like, what? So it was like, I thought they were just like artfully kind of jumping around in time, like, and then back to the 60s, but no, it was like delving into like 70s stuff, and then go back to the 60s, and then back to the 70s, and it was actually pretty interesting, but it was cool. I remember there used to be a print of a television copy of Silent Running that was out of order, that they used to air on like all of our local channels, like for the longest time. That thing made the rounds, and like my mom would always try and like tape Silent Running, and they get pissed because it'd be like the stupid one that was out of order, and like, yeah, people that died were like back alive again, and you're like, what the hell's going on here? Oh, Austin's got Bad Boys on Blu-ray. Yeah, I need to get that. I don't even think I actually own a physical copy of that. I would just see it on cable all the time after seeing it in the theaters a couple times. But yeah, man, that was like a good scared straight movie. Kept me on the the right path. Make sure I didn't get into trouble with Esai Morales and wind up in behind bars. Trevor saw Snakes on a Plane with damn. And they drove to the art house for a Scanner Darkly. Yeah, I've done that thing where I've driven. Like, I remember seeing 4 Rooms of Heat on the same night. Scanner Darkly, I caught that in the theater. I had to drive to New Haven, Connecticut, because nowhere around me was showing it. But that was a trip. And the Snakes on a Plane, yeah, I saw that in the theaters too. But not as a not as a twin experience. Yeah, Commando in the cinemas was great because I went with my dad, and we were just like, this is all I ever wanted in a movie. Arnold. Nonsensical one-liners and just sheer death and dismemberment and saw blades and skulls, and yeah, we saw that at least a couple times. Nice. The Lock saw a trailer for Resident Evil 2 upside down and backwards. You're like, oh, they're really pushing the envelope with this new Resident Evil film. I've had like wrong lenses and stuff too. I saw again a press screen. The press screenings kind of suck sometimes because a lot of times they'll throw like, especially when they would have prints back in the day, they would throw a film in a cinema that were showing something else altogether. So they just kind of set it up. They really wouldn't pay any attention to it. The screen wouldn't be like masked the right way. But I remember seeing the 25th Hour, the Spike Lee movie, and it wasn't anamorphically squeezed back out to 2.35 to 1. So it started with his, like, he's got like a Judge or like a kick-ass like Plymouth that he's driving around in. And it just looks like this big blobby like inflatable car. I'm like, pretty sure this is not the right aspect ratio. And then Peter showed up and showed him how to do it and fixed it. But yeah, I'm trying to think of the worst. I've had lots of film tears. I saw, actually when we was back, topic is just general like cinema going experiences and weird failures and and Commando. Yeah. But yeah, I've had lots of film breaks. I think the last film break I saw was There Will Be Blood. It just kind of crapped out halfway through, and actually maybe no, it's more like a third of the way through. They did get it up and running again. 4K. Drank some 40s and watched NBK once in the theaters. Theater cat running across the stage, showing me crazy. Man, yeah, NBK I saw in the theaters, but yeah, it's probably far less remarkable situation. I did see a little bit of it. We were at the drive-in one time, and it was playing on a screen behind us, and there was a couple times I would like turn around and like look out the back window. I think it was MBK and like Clear and Present Danger or something. And then there was another screen that was showing like Mighty Ducks, one of the Mighty Ducks sequels. And I remember every once in a while I'd like look behind me and be like, this MBK movie looks pretty weird. I should check this out. Yeah, that's a good one to see in an enhanced state of mind. I remember actually flashing back to the Deadpool when I saw that in the theaters. I was like, I wasn't straight edge, but I was this, young kid, hung out with a bunch of guys that, were into everything. But I was, pretty straight laced. But I had this trench coat because it was, pre-Columbine. You could have trench coats back in the day, and I was still in my like David from Lost Boys phase. So I was like always trying to dress like David from Lost Boys, and so I had my trench coats, and one of them like the lining tore. So these guys realized that you could like, just drop as much stuff in there as possible. So yeah, they were giving me all their like 40s and like all sorts of random like, just bottles of, what did they have? I'm trying to think of like, it wasn't like Mad Dog 2020, but it's like something like that. And they were like tossing it all down the lining of my jacket. And I had to like walk really, really carefully. And I remember I was like, all right, guys, if I get busted for this, you guys really owe me because I'm not even getting drunk on this stuff. I'm just going to get like a Coke. But yeah, we walked into the Deadpool, and then like, the guys, I had to like tear the tops off of their Cokes and like pour some of it off and pull the bottles out of my trench coat lining, pass it around. Classic flick. Austin saw Exorcist director's cut in theaters 2000, way different than the big screen. Yeah, I saw that. That was an intense viewing. Sadly, I wish there was more people because it was kind of late. That was when I was working third shift, and thankfully my wife was pretty cool with going to see like movies with me at like 11:30 midnight on the weekends because I didn't like to change my schedule even when I was off shift. So yeah, I would like keep a third shift schedule like religiously. And yeah, we saw like a pretty late screening of Exorcist, and there weren't that many people there, which was kind of a bummer, but it was really interesting seeing it like in a theater and just the vibe and the way the sound was bouncing around in there. So the Lock saw Karate Kid 2 break twice, and they just said leave. We almost had to leave during Moulin Rouge because somebody pulled a fire alarm or something like that, but the film didn't actually break. But I was trying to think if there's anything I ever saw. I did see the Italian Job remake, and I didn't hear any audio from like the last 15-20 minutes, and they just gave us a ticket to go see another movie at some other point, so I never did actually hear what happened. It was like the big reveal when they're like, haha, this is what we did, and it was just all mime show, and I never heard like what happened until it came out on home video. Oh man. Superman, yeah, I did see that in the theaters. I'm trying to remember like how many times I saw it. I think I just saw that one time in the theaters, and I just was just kind of like enraptured by it all. Like I didn't know what to think. I was just like, this is crazy. Like you will believe a man can fly. So wow, my true movie who saw Exorcist at 6 screwed me up for months. Yeah, I actually knew a guy who was, my mom was, after my parents got divorced in the 70s, she was like kind of playing the field a little bit, and there was this hunky dude in the neighborhood that would like help out and around the house and stuff, and they were kind of like, maybe going to be a thing. And he was saying about how he saw The Exorcist and it scared him so bad he joined the army because he figured he would never be alone again, like if he joined the military. So The Exorcist scared him into service. I guess it worked, and he was okay with it, but it was weird. Austin saw Armageddon break twice at AMC, but it still worked. Damn it, you almost dodged that bullet. Garrick 27 saw Bridge on the River Quiet, the film for him. Damn, that would be fun. I saw that for the first time on cable, and then when this freaking LaserDisc came out, which one? Do I still have it? I swear I had it up here. Damn, must be at work. But yeah, when the Columbia like reissue of it came out in '94, I was like fell in love with that movie. That movie's the coolest. Alec Guinness just rocks balls in that. Rumble in the Bronx. I missed in the theaters. I wish I had seen that. I actually had plans to go see it in the theaters. I don't know what happened to that, but because it was like I was all into Jackie Chan movies and John Woo movies at the time. My roommates were all like, "We got to go see this Jackie Chan movie." But around that same time, I remember Desperado being like a Friday night crowd, rowdy as hell. Everybody was fired up. Everyone was on the same page, ready to have a good time. And yeah, it was just off the hook. It was just freaking out and just talking back at the screen. And yeah, good times. But yeah, back in the day, man, everyone like would just line up around the block for movies. And yeah, now it's just very like methodical and robotic and stuff. And even when it's packed, like it's an experience. But some of those old 80s, and 70s experiences, man, that was where it was at. You remembered those. All right, well, I guess I should probably wind down. It's creeping up on midnight. I need to get some more water. I'm getting parched. But thanks for hanging out, y'all. Always a good time. And this Friday thing's, working out, assuming I don't have any other like major Friday plans coming up in the near future. I'll probably be doing some like weekend trips and stuff, so I might have to reschedule a few to Thursdays. But yeah. Yeah, Machu saw Empire when he was 5, waiting in line for hours. Yeah, I remember the Empire line, like insane line, and I was like just sitting outside waiting for it to start. And I remember we ended up sitting so close that the scenes on the speeders when they were going to look for Han and Luke in the morning. I remember just having like that roller coaster vibe. Like my stomach was like, yeah. It was like actually being in the cockpit of a speeder. Totally gave me motion sickness. It was the coolest thing ever. Man. I actually, I had a lot of, Star Wars flashbacks watching Endgame. Again, I was like, this is very similar to, when I saw, Return of the Jedi for the first time. Just the vibe and energy of it. Oh, it's only 8:42 out the west. Damn you Westerners. NYPD was at the Jew screening. Yeah, man. That's awesome. I do remember when they would call out the cops just in case something went down at a screening. That was the big thing back in the day. I remember when Colors came out and they were like, yeah, be on high alert. Colors is going to come out. All these gangs are going to start fighting and everyone's on high alert. Yeah, good times. But yeah, I'm glad the Lock made it on board. Good to see you. And cheers, Austin. Plan 9 for the Northwest. Cheers. Sam, always good to hear from you. Return of the Jedi Land was 6 hours long. Damn. But it was amazing. Yeah, man. I had to, my parents had to split up. My dad had to, go sit up somewhere, and I sat next to my mom. Yeah. Well, cheers. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. And hopefully see some movies over the weekend, maybe. We'll see. We'll catch you guys on the flip side next week and talk some more shenanigans and tomfoolery and butt crackery or whatever. But yeah, film Curd Nori again. Film nerd Corey. Cheers. And Moikie's not here, so Moikie smells like my butt. Aha. He'll hear that later. Peace out, everybody. Cheers.